that you know what you voted for. At least you guys say you know what you voted for. I mean, I'm willing to believe you if you're actually willing to get in the box and tell me, because I'm interested. I'm genuinely interested. Tap the screen, guys. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 25,000 likes. Let's get the likes up to 25,000 likes. Let's get the shares up as well, guys. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. Get in the box. They've been hiding. The thing that I've learned, right? The thing that I've learned is that MAGA, for some reason, they don't want to talk to me. Has anyone else noticed that? Has anyone else noticed how Trump supporters will go around and hop on other people's panels? And when I'm live, they'll just sit in the chat. They'll sit in the chat quietly. And not only will they sit in the chat quietly, but a lot of times they won't even put a message in the chat. They're not even brave enough to put a message in the chat anymore. And guys, let me tell you how bad it's gotten, right? And I'm wondering if it's a byproduct of them knowing that they're wrong, right? Is it? Do you guys think that they have any type of sense of self-awareness? Who is this? Jagoff? Jagoff, you said Trump 2028. Get in the box. If you're proud of it, request up, Jagoff. You're not, though. I mean, but like, that's the thing. You guys pretend like you're pretending that you are proud of what you did, but you're not. There's no way that you could be, because if you were, you will request up. But we understand that's not going to happen. Are you me? No, I'm him. That's who I am. I'm him. I'm him. Oh, okay. Listen. We got somebody loading up here. Maritime, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, Maritime. Listen, I need you to know something before we get started. I know you know who I am. And I know that you've even been on late nights.
Yeah.
But Maritime, do you know what this is?
I'm aware.
Oh, so you okay?
Participated in this side.
Okay, so as long as you know, we're gonna go ahead and get started, guys. Listen, just in case anyone is watching and they don't know what this is or who I am, let me give you a proper introduction.
First, I want to give you a shout out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this? Guys, welcome in. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. Get in the box. We are only talking to Trump supporters. We are not talking to friendlies. This is not Late Nights with Santana. This is Sparring, so only request up. If you are a Trump supporter, if you're friendly, do all the wonderful things. Keep tapping the screen, share the live. Listen, guys, let's go ahead and get the shares up to 100 shares. Let's get the likes up to 50,000 likes. And also, guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Anything is accepted. Everything is appreciated. Listen, we have Maritime up here. Maritime, I know you were about to say something. You were about to give me my props. You might want to hold on to that. You might want to hold on to it.
I see you catching strays on other people's lives, and even though I'm a MAGA supporter, sometimes when I hear some arguments, it makes me feel like I'm a liberal. But
Say love you. Well, that being said, Maritime, listen, I know you and I have talked before, right? You've joined late nights, and I think I know you in a certain aspect, but I really want to kind of drill down on the conversation. And so maybe you can answer a question for me.
Sure.
Which one did you vote for? Did you vote for crashing the economy, the de-education department, a powerless country, to show off your isms, or did you get duped?
I don't think it's any of that.
Ooh, okay. So Maritime, I know you're a proponent of tariffs. Cool. Help me understand, because it can't just be tariffs that you voted for. Like, what did you vote for?
I voted for conservative monetary policies.
Got it. Conservative monetary policy. Hey, Maritime, tell me what those conservative monetary policies would be.
Would be a reduction in spending and an increase in taxes.
Ooh, yeah. We do know that. Conservative Party, the Republican Party, they are good for not only cutting taxes, or I'm sorry, they're good for not only cutting expenses, but raising taxes. Got it. Hey, Maritime, question for you.
Mm-hmm.
The last time that a tax bill was passed, it was passed by who?
Trump.
How much did that actual tax bill add to our overall debt?
I don't know, 8 trillion.
Ooh, not 8 trillion, but it was 4.7, somewhere around there. He had about 8 trillion total, but it added over $4 trillion, right, to our debt. Hey, have you seen the proposals for the new tax bill?
I've heard about it.
How much is going to be added to the next amount of debt if this proposed tax bill is passed?
I'm not sure.
About 5.9 trillion.
Does that account for increase in revenues through tariffs, which is essentially a tax?
It's essentially a tax on everyday Americans. But again, I mean, you're cutting the reason why the actual proposed tax code is going to actually cost so much is because they're using it to offset the amount of cuts that they're giving to billionaires, right? I mean, listen, Maritime, I kind of know you a little bit, right? I mean, I don't think that you're a simp for billionaires, but how could you be okay with actually adding to the debt while cutting taxes for billionaires?
Well, I think taxes should be increased across the board.
I
think that, I think Democrats were running on the same platform to cut taxes as well, right? They were just saying, we cut it for the middle class. We don't, and we increase it on the upper class. Now, I don't believe that is enough. And I think that what Republicans are doing is something that I don't think the Democrat Party could have done or would have done.
Yeah, you mean like crash the economy, violate people constitutional rights, cause panic and chaos in the street, get people out in droves to protest? Is that what you're talking about? Because they did a good job with that.
The economy hasn't crashed yet, right? Has not. We're not seeing like
we are definitely heading towards a recession, where before Donald Trump took power, we were actually on track for another quarter of growth, but now, since Donald Trump has his on and off tariff plan, not only is the Atlanta Fed, but now also JP Morgan Chase are both predicting that we are heading towards a recession. And JP Morgan Chase has actually upped that percentage to about 60%. We're on track for our quarterly GDP to contract.
And how can we avoid that? It's pretty easy, right? He slaps on the tariff. If we just slap it off, the stock market goes up. Okay. So
wait. So your premise is since he slapped on the tariffs, if you just slap off the tariffs, then it will actually keep us from going into a recession.
that's not the premise. That's the fact, right?
Oh, okay.
We saw it happen, right? Right. He took off the taxes. The stock market rose, right? Or he delayed it 90 days.
Yeah. Hold on one second here.
The whole insider trading.
Oh, hold on one second, Maritime. Hey, Sir Bobbles, I just saw with what you said. Are you saying that the actual volume over on YouTube is low? Hey, mods, can someone hop over to YouTube and check the volume on YouTube for me, please? Can someone go check the volume on YouTube and make sure we're good? Yeah, listen. So the thing is, right? When you talk about the actual slapping on tariffs or slapping off tariffs or anything like that, the tariffs or slapping off tariffs of the market. Hey, what happened when Donald Trump started, dangling tariffs back and forth and, there being a not so clear path as far as what he wanted to do with the tariffs? What happened with the markets?
It fluctuated.
So are you saying that him not only threatening tariffs, but taking the tariffs off, putting the tariffs on, taking the tariffs off, putting the tariffs on, you get 125, maybe you get 10, we're going to tax the penguins, we're going to tax so you think all of that leads to any type of stability when it comes to not only the stock market, but companies actually planning for their future?
No, it creates, no, I get what you're saying. Okay. I understand what you're saying. Here, what I'm saying is that if we were going down into a recession, we can easily remove the tariffs and ourselves from going into a recession, right? So when you say the economy, he crashed the economy, I don't think that's true because we can avoid it.
So, and first and foremost, what up, Carbon? Guys, drop some W's in the chat for my African brother, Carbon. What's going on?
What's up? I won't be up here long. I had Maritime up on my live yesterday, and it was a little back and forth. Somebody paid to kick him. My man paid to get back up.
I believe it.
Listen, somebody paid to kick him again.
now that one's wild. That is wild. That is wild. Listen, I've talked to Maritime before. He comes by on late nights, in which I had to make sure he understood that this is not late nights. This is different. Right, and he seems to get it. Yeah.
Get the gloves on. Yeah. How you doing, Maritime?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing great.
I don't feel great about getting kicked twice.
I get it. But Maritime, real quick though. So I mean, okay, your premise is behind tariffs, right? But we do understand that our economy is built off of way more than just tariffs, right? I mean, consumer confidence is down. Jerome Powell is standing 10 toes down saying, hey, interest rates are going up. Inflation is going up. And since consumer spending is down, inflation rates is going up, people are keeping the money that they have in their pockets. They're not going out. They're not investing. They're not using discretionary spending. People are getting laid off. I mean, you have Doge who is cutting jobs. Donald Trump is laying people off in droves, which is actually flooding the actual the unemployment. I mean, it's increasing the unemployment. I mean, all of these factors combined together with the fact that Donald Trump doesn't have any type of consistent plan, all of that spells collapsing the economy.
Okay, but we still have tools in our pocket should we need them, right? We can do things like lower the interest rate, which will increase inflation, but it'll stave off a recession, right? And then we also have the ability to withdraw some of the tariffs in a strategic manner, right? So we have those tools in our playbook to stave off this recession or depression or whatever you want to call it. It's not like we're helpless. The economy is going to crash. We don't have anything that we can do.
Maritime.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? my God, stop your fucking lying.
Maritime, what tools do we have to stave off a recession? And if we had tools to stave off a recession, then Donald Trump putting tariffs on, tariffs off, why wouldn't he actually implement those tools to keep us from even coming close to a recession while still being able to have his trade war with the tariffs? Why wouldn't he do that?
Because what you're suggesting won't bring jobs here in mainland America, right? So if we just say, hey, forget the tariffs, then we have another Democrat in office, right? We're not making any changes. We're just letting the economy run as normal, and it's not going to bring jobs back, right?
Yeah. Okay. So maybe explain this to Carbon, because I know, I might not be the sharpest spoon in the drawer, right? And so maybe Carbon can actually understand this one a little bit better than me. Can you explain to Carbon how tariffs are actually going to bring back manufacturing jobs to the U.S.?
The same way that we use it on cars, right? Right? To keep the auto industry here in America, right? Right? And that works.
How?
We have we have like Chevy and all those car manufacturers here. And
right. Listen, these car companies, they have a price point at which people would buy their car, right? Otherwise, it falls off a roof of consumers who are willing to buy their car. And if in order to reach that price point, they have to offshore, right? Well, that's their business decision. Now, you can say that it can come. Like, do you agree that that is going to increase prices if it were to bring jobs back? And by the way, this is not economically sound policy. Like, there's no studies that show that. But I'm asking you. Let's just grant, for the sake of argument, right, that it somehow like motivates a business to say, okay, I'll jack up my prices and produce it here. You do realize that will jack up prices. Do you concede to that point?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Now, what economic policy are you looking at? Do you have like any studies or anything that would show that it does have a good, like any motivated reasoning for a lot of manufacturing jobs to come back?
Or
studies on that.
Or is it just vibes? Because if it's just vibes, you can tell me it's just vibes, and I can talk to you about your vibes.
No, dude, I think you guys have to understand the fact that if you put tariffs on a certain thing and it's going to cost more coming from a different country, that if it's cheaper to make it here, even though it costs more, that's going to happen. That's just how the market works.
So you're saying it's cheaper to manufacture here because the a lot of their supplies that they, like even if you manufacture something here, right? It doesn't follow from that the supplies that you need to put everything together are manufactured here. Those could still be out of country, right?
Sure.
Right. So not only you're relying on the company to produce here, you're now also relying on all these other companies that supply that company their materials and things that they need to get a working product. You're relying on all of them coming back, right? So this is just overall increase in price. I don't understand what the value is here. Like, what's the value of bringing jobs back if like nobody has money in their pocket?
Well, I'm not suggesting that we tariff raw supplies, raw materials to make it, right? But the manufacturing process will still require people to do it.
Hey, what about like with implementing tariffs on things like car parts, right? I mean, if you're trying to actually incentivize manufacturers to come back to America and actually build cars in the country, right? But yet we know for a fact that there's a lot of vehicles that actually have parts that come in and out of the country before actually coming back for the final thing to be actually, put together here in the US. And so those goods that travel in and out of the country are then receiving those additional tariffs. Like, isn't that kind of counterproductive to bringing manufacturer back here if when you do bring it back here, that they're still going to actually tariff for parts, not just the actual whole?
Look, I'm not agreeing with all the tariffs, okay? I don't think that it should have been like just across the board, right? It should have been done in a strategic manner.
Listen, shoulda, woulda, coulda, friend. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Like, okay, and that's the point. And Maritime, just a heads up, like people on not only YouTube but here on TikTok are saying that you're kind of talking low. I don't know if you could speak up a little bit louder or actually, turn your volume up, but that's what they were saying before. And so, yeah. But like, so this is the thing, right? Why is it that we have a president who doesn't actually think things through before he does them? Because again, I'm not someone that says, oh, tariffs are just the worst thing in the world. I understand that there's a time and place for tariffs, and you're speaking like, oh, I don't agree with all the tariffs, but I mean, Donald Trump doesn't have a plan, right? When it came to actually creating the tariffs, he just took the deficit that we have, divided by the total amount of trades, and then divided it by 2. Like what?
Yeah, it wasn't. Look, I'm not going to defend how it was done. I'm just saying that something had to be done, and
it's not that.
It'll work itself out over time.
Like it's like saying, hey, the house has a leak, and then somebody goes in there and just starts causing more leaks and tearing up the house, and you're like, hey, something had to be done. We have to start somewhere.
Yep. Listen,
so now we didn't know how to fix the leak. Now we got to fix all the extra stuff that the guy broke.
Carbon, this is what happened. It's like someone, like the house had a leak and someone came in and said, I'm gonna burn down this whole house. That way, at least it's not leaking. I mean, we did something, like the fire took care of the leak.
Santana, the leak is not there anymore.
We're not worried about the leak anymore. I mean, we have a fire now, but we're no longer worried about the leak.
I got a good way to deal with your allergies. Okay, it's permanent.
But look, the leak will get fixed, right? It just along.
Yeah, you have to build a new house to fix the leak now. Instead of just fixing the leak, you have to build a whole house to fix the leak now.
Then we get a new house. But the point,
new pipes,
bro.
That's crazy.
I understand that the tariffs were not put in place strategically. I do think that we do need tariffs. I don't think we went about it the best way, but I think overall that is a tax on the middle class, and that's something that we've really needed to do for a while now. And
so Maritime, I hear you, and again, you and I have talked about this, and I'm not disagreeing with you on the tax on the middle class. But how can you actually support, the tax on the middle class while also knowing that they're cutting taxes on the billionaires and corporations who already don't really pay taxes at all?
Well, I heard that they're considering increasing the taxes on corporations. I don't know.
Republicans?
Yeah, listen, Maritime, if you believe that I have a bridge in Brooklyn, I would like to sell to you.
Is that not true?
You're
saying Republicans are going to raise taxes on the wealthy?
You poor, sweet, innocent lamb of God. Jesus. No, yes, they talked about a lot, right? Seriously, they've talked about a lot of different things. I mean, they talked about, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. They talked about no tax on overtime. They talked about a health care plan that Donald Trump has now said that he had coming for 9 years. Donald Trump is performative, and they talk about a lot of stuff, but they don't do it. Concepts. I mean, they have the concepts, Carbon. They have the House, they have the Senate, they have the executive branch. It's kind of seeming like they don't necessarily have the Supreme Court anymore, but that's a different topic. But like, if they wanted to actually pass something, I mean, they have the ability to do it.
In the latest reiteration of the tax plan, right? Did they not increase taxes on corporations?
No.
And you're being honest with me?
Being very honest. You can look it up at the ITPE or IETP. I'm bad with like letters, but I'll get it for you here. Give me a second here. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up. Don't be stingy with the likes. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 100,000 likes. Let's get the shares up to 100 shares. Also, guys, while Carbon is hanging out up here, let's show Carbon some love, right? He only has 151 coins, which is wild. Let's take care of Carbon. Let's make sure we're gifting Carbon. Let's blow up his gifts and show him some appreciation, show him some love. And last but not least, make sure you're hitting his pay links. As a matter of fact, mods, I don't know how long I have Carbon up here, but let's get his pay links running in the poll while he's here. And also, guys, remember, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. And speaking of appreciation, holy smokes. Massive W's in the chat for Pamela, guys. Massive W's in the chat for Pamela. Pamela sent a $50 donation to say if he does what he wants to listen, if he does want to listen or understand the facts. They don't. But Debbie's in the chat for Pamela. Thank you so much for that $50 donation, Pamela. You are far too kind. Also, over on YouTube, guys, if you want to actually support, you can send a YouTube super chat, and I will read that actual message out. All right, let me get this information for you. So while I'm pulling this up, though, Maritime, with that being said, right, because I know you and I have talked about social safety nets as well, right, and where this administration lands with social safety nets. Do you think Debbie's in the chat for Nurse for the well diving for Carbon?
Yo, Nurse, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Are you good with him actually cutting veterans benefits?
Well, I think benefits across the board should be cut.
Woo! Woo!
Uh-oh.
Woo!
Hey, can you say that in like every Republican ad if you don't mind?
Look, it's a controversial take, but I think by enacting cuts, we can extend the life of these programs, right? That's where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from, hey, let's just slash it, screw everyone. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a point of these programs, I'd like to see them exist for the foreseeable future, and it's going to take cuts to get there.
So you are good with cutting veterans benefits, right? Not just certain social safety nets, which I understand, like and whoever sent the puppy, thank you so much for the puppy, but you are good with veterans, right? People that put their lives on the line to protect us and to keep us safe, especially in, Trump's America. But with that being said, you are good knowing that we already have an issue where veterans are underpaid, and there's a unhoused epidemic with vets because they aren't properly taken care of once they serve us. And your thoughts are, yeah, those people should actually have less help, less support, less benefits. Let them eat cake.
Well, you're specifically pointing out veterans, right? I'm not specifically pointing them out. I'm saying all across the board.
Right. No, I hear you, but I specifically asked about veterans.
I think everyone needs to contribute, including veterans, which is not a platform that anyone would vote for. I get that.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, so this is just an FYI for you, and you can look it up whenever you have time. But yeah, it's itep.org, and they actually, it's the Institute of Taxation and Economics, and they did a study on the breakdown of Donald Jimothy Trump's proposed tax plan. Now, the one caveat that I do want to give is this is based off of the information that has been shared. None of this is actually factual until the actual proposed tax cuts are passed. So I will give that caveat. Until it's actually passed, which we do know that it passed through the House, it went back to the Senate. The Senate actually made changes. That's why it went from over 4 trillion to 5.7 trillion. And then they sent it back to the House. They have to keep, going back and forth, and they agree on it. But anyway, if it is agreed upon and passed, not only are tax rates being cut for the ultra wealthy and corporations, for anyone that is making, anyone that's making less than $360,000 a year, right? Anyone, anyone making less than $360,000 a year, their taxes will go up. Now, depending on, you know, where they fall in that range, it's all going up. But for anyone that's making that's making over 360,000. If you're making 360,000 to $914,900, you will actually see a decrease in your taxes by 1.2%. And if you're making $914,900 or more, you actually will see a decrease in your taxes by 1.4%. So the actual top super wealthy, they're going to gain an extra 4.1% in the amount of savings from the tax cuts,
which is nothing really, right? That's like what, 4,000 if you make $1 million or whatever, right? It's not going to be a game changer, right?
What?
Like it's not that much money. The 1% class is not that large, right? So when you talk about 4% decrease in taxes, I don't think that's going to be a huge hit in terms of revenue.
What?
Yeah, what?
W's in the chat for Jordan. Jordan sent a $5 donation. Thank you so much for that $5 donation, Jordan. You are absolutely amazing. You are too kind. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Please take care of my African brother who's in this box right now. I would love to hear him say thank you. His pay links are running in the poll in the bio. Make sure we're taking care of Carbon. Carbon, I'm about to have you do some heavy lifting because that statement just kind of put me on my back heels. W's in the chat for Nurse for the sub.
Like, you really don't, you think what I'm saying doesn't make sense? Like,
I think that you actually saying that it's not a big deal, while again increasing taxes on the people that have the most burden already is absolutely wild. It is nasty work.
Yeah. Like, you understand like marginal income, right? You understand how that concept works. Like, for a poor person, every additional dollar is worth significantly more than for a rich person. Every additional dollar is worth a lot less, right? Compared to that poor person. So when you say that it doesn't matter, what matters to the poor, right? You agree with that, right? Like, well, there's an increasing burden.
I'm not advocating increasing taxes on the poor. I'm advocating increasing it on the middle class. Okay, so I just want to make sure that.
But the problem is, right? Like, we understand what you're advocating for, but we also understand what is actually happening. So, like, I hear you. I mean, you're saying that. But, you know, as a wise woman just said, we live in a country that is the wealthiest in the world, and we should not have the middle class and lower class paying the majority of the taxes when the upper class is not. I mean, like, if we're gonna raise taxes, then why? Like, I know you said that we should be able to pay for those social safety nets. Hey, give us universal health care. Give us universal. If you're gonna raise taxes, why not actually give us universal health care?
Because people don't want to pay the cost that it would take. Realistically, that's why people rather them
already paying
the option to go to the hospital and pay rather than receive these benefits, right? They complain about what, long waiting lines or whatever, all these arguments that they bring up, right? Right or wrong?
You're wrong. What are you talking about? Wrong. What, long waiting lines where in the U.S., or are you talking about places where there's universal health care?
That's the argument against universal health care, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the international argument. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carbon.
Yeah, it's just a bad argument because, like, in Canada, those places, they don't have long wait lines for necessary services, right? So like yeah, you have knee surgery, but nonetheless, like, they're already, like, the bigger problem is they're already paying the costs. Like, they're already it's just how they're paying it and how it's distributed, right? In fact, they're probably there's a lot more that they would have to pay under the current system than under a Medicare for All system, for example. Or, you know, I'm in the military, so maybe we can rebrand it to TRICARE for All or some shit like that. I don't know, but
tight shit.
Yeah, defund the military except for Carbon. Let's go.
I hear you saying that, but, like, realistically, that's not something that people, like, would vote for.
You think people wouldn't vote for universal health care. You think people wouldn't vote? Got it. Cool. Hey, chat. Hold on one second.
I don't know how that's true.
Hold on 1 second. Chat. Drop a 3 in the chat if you would actually vote for universal health care. Drop a 3 in the chat. Drop a 3 in the chat if you would actually vote for universal health care. Drop a 3 in the chat if you would vote for universal health care. Hey, Maritime, you see all those 3s lighting up?
Yeah, because they want it. They just don't want to pay for it.
Okay, cool. All right, chat, slow it down for a second. Now, this is what I want you to do. Drop a 5 and just one 5. Just one. Don't put a bunch of them. Drop a 5 in the chat if you are willing to increase your taxes for universal health care. Drop a 5 in the chat. If you look, even the YouTube chat is going off. Drop a 5 in the chat if you're willing to increase your taxes for universal health care. Holy smokes, Maritime. They are making an ass out of you and me since you made an assumption. Holy smokes.
So how come no one won on that platform?
Wait, no. So wait, hold on. Like you're talking about in the Democratic primary. So first of all, Bernie Sanders, like people agreed, like most people voted against. Yeah, shout out to Bernie. You know that in both primaries, 2016 and 2020, everybody who voted for Hillary Clinton and all the Dems who voted for Joe Biden in those primaries supported his Medicare for All program. Likewise, in the polling averages where Bernie Sanders was going against Donald Trump, like his average was like +9, +10 over Donald Trump. So like independents were voting for it too.
Yeah.
And it even swayed a couple like conservatives. So like I don't understand, like specifically when it comes to Medicare for, like that's a very popular policy. It's like 60-70% popular.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're talking about. Like people won't vote for that. They would if it was on the ballot between Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders 2016. Bernie Sanders obviously would have wiped the floor with them.
Yeah. Also, W's in the chat for Josh. Josh sent a $1 donation saying 3 and 5. So hard to donate just to let Maritime know. Josh wanted to make sure that his message was heard. Guys, massive W's in the chat for Josh. Josh said he not only is he willing to actually vote and increase his taxes for universal health care, but he's willing to actually send a donation to make sure that his voice is heard on this topic. Guys, W's in the chat for Josh. Also, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Anything's accepted. Everything's appreciated. And YouTube, don't forget, if you want to donate, you can donate through YouTube Super Chat, and I will read your message out. And guys, don't forget about my African brother here, Carbon. Maybe Carbon just doesn't. Can someone test his pay links? Maybe his like Venmo and Cash App are not working. Maybe his Venmo and Cash App, I think his Venmo and Cash App are broken. Can someone please test that and he might need to fix it. Guys, we might need Carbon to complete a trouble ticket to make sure his pay links are working. Can someone please test his pay links? Anyway, go ahead, Carbon.
Yeah, we need an IT specialist over here. But you agree with that, Maritime. You agree that Bernie Sanders, like his platform was both popular among Democrats, is popular among Democrats and independents for healthcare.
But there's only one person saying that, right?
I wonder why.
What do you mean? There's only one person. Yeah, but that's a different argument now.
Yeah, I wonder why though.
For it. Yeah, they do vote for it. Yeah.
Hey, Maritime, why do you think no one's actually running on that platform? Do you think that it's a failing position, or do you think lobbyists? Which one?
I think it's because the reality of what it takes to get there is increasing taxes, and people, they want it, they just don't want to pay for it. And I think this is true. I really truly believe.
I just proved that wrong. By the way, Lee Durney, thank you for the test. $2 on Venmo. I appreciate it.
W's in the chat, Lee. Let's go.
Carbon, you proved it wrong.
And then Jedi, thank you for the $20 on Super Chat. Said, LOL, Santana, stop yelling at us.
Listen, sometimes you gotta put a little bit of bass in your voice and get some shit done around here. And sometimes you gotta do that and make sure that some shit get done. But so seriously, Maritime, like we literally just actually did a quick poll, which I understand, right? We're talking about a chat, but we did a quick poll and we did actually verify that people are willing to actually put their money where their mouth is. And we also talked about how, yes, it was a popular platform, no matter who was actually running on it. Now, Maritime, how much money do you think we have to pay politicians for them to stop taking money from lobbyists to vote against our own best interests? Just asking for a friend.
I don't think whatever it is, it probably wouldn't be enough. I think that they would always.
You know how much they actually sell us out for, though? Like if you actually look at the breakdown of how much money these politicians take from these lobbyists in order to vote on certain issues, like it's like $10,000. Like I swear we could crowdfund just to get certain stuff passed. Like I promise you, they sell us out for the lowski.
Do you understand like the like running to be a Democrat, right? Like all the obstacles you face, like if you don't align with their platform, they will straight up like attack you and make sure that you don't get into office. And they have the funds to support someone who does believe in their platform. And
I'm not pushing back on that.
No, I had a friend run and I saw they literally kicked him out of the local Democrat Party because he didn't align, one-to-one with their views. So it may be popular, but unless you change the democratic machine, it's not going to happen.
Oh, Maritime, you sound like you just agree with my point as far as like, lobbyists and i.e. even more so making sure that we take money out of politics. Also, what would actually be dope? Carbon, what would be dope? Maritime, what would be dope?
What?
Is if politicians actually did what was in the best interest for the people that they actually represent.
Yeah, but
what if the Republican Party, not just the Democratic Party, was held responsible for, passing legislation that benefited everyday Americans? What if the Republican Party actually passed any legislation that helped everyday people?
Look, money wins elections, right?
Not disagreeing.
For the most part, it does, right? You have a little
Wisconsin Supreme Court race.
Ooh, W's in the chat for Carbon. That's a good one. Also, real quick, guys, W's in the chat for Rich Hawk, who sent a $10 super chat to say the U.S. is the only first world country without universal health care. Right. Also, most developed nations actually have limits as far as how much money can be placed into politics, and they also put restraints around how long you can run for office. Donald Trump has been running for office for 9 years. Nasty work. Also, guys, massive W's in the chat for Debbie. Debbie sent a $5 donation saying, continue to educate them, Debbie. I will. Thank you so much. You are far too kind. Debbie's in the chat for Debbie. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Make sure you're taking care of Carbon. Carbon is at 6.6. Ooh, that seems a little demon shit. Listen, Jeebus, in the name of Jeebus, I need someone to actually fix this because he is at 6.66 thousand coins. I need somebody, everybody, if you don't, I will go get my bibbles right now and pray the coins away. Oh man,
gonna go down.
Oh goodness. Okay, but like that's the thing though. Seriously, Maritime, like it's you sound like you're a proponent for getting money out of politics, which I agree to, but also like, I mean, you like, shouldn't the Republican Party be held responsible, especially if they have power?
I suppose.
So why do you hold the Democratic Party more accountable than you hold the Republican Party?
Well, because if what they're doing works, why change it? Right? If it works, taking in lobbyist money and you get elected, why change it? Right?
So you're saying that if being hateful, harmful, hurtful, being deceptive, being someone who says that, hey, we're going to do all these good things and then literally turn around and actually do the good things for the people that pay them the most, doing all of those things, they work, so they shouldn't stop doing it. That's what you're saying. So the people that actually are in charge of doing what's best for everyday Americans don't do what's best for everyday Americans. And you're saying that it's okay because it's working for them, so they should keep doing it.
I mean, that's the reality of it, right? It's not. Look, it's not. I don't agree with it, but I agree with, like, I'm living in reality. I understand that this is just how it is. right? And
that's just the way it is.
It'll take massive change to do that, and I don't think that change is coming anytime soon.
That's just the way it is. Oh yeah. Listen, Maritime, you have to be the change that you want to see. You have to start with the man in the mirror, my friend. Like, if you actually want change, then you have to be the change that you want to see, right? How about we stop voting the same people in? How about we stop giving them our support? How about we actually, boots on the ground and actually do the work to actually get people to change their mind? And we actually encourage those people that don't vote to get out and vote. Maritime, like, on a personal level, would you want, like, universal health care for you? Like, would you want to make sure, would you want a situation where for a fact that if you ever, let's say, God forbid, you did get the big C, right? Would you want a situation where that you know that no matter what your financial situation is, that you're going to receive the best possible treatment and you're going to be given the best chance to make it through that situation?
Yeah, and I'm okay with paying like 10 to 15% more in taxes. I'm okay with that. But I understand that a lot of people are not okay with it. But
what premise do you have? Because like, I did the temporary poll, and I went through that whole exercise. Carbon, who's smart, actually cited sources, which I ain't got sources, I got vibes. But no, like, seriously, he talked about the actual platform that was actually super popular. What I mean, I'm still trying to understand, what are you basing your premise off of?
Because aside from Bernie, all right, maybe AOC, I'm not really 100% familiar with her platform. No one is out there saying, hey, look, we can have this, and it's going to require us to pay X% more in taxes. There's nobody outwardly running on that platform. And the reason why is because they most likely will not get into office running on that platform. Telling the truth, right? You can dangle out universal health care. It sounds good. Everyone likes that. You can't dangle out, hey, it's going to cost X amount more. You can't see that. I
hear you. I'm going to read this off real quick, and then Carbon, I'm going to give it to you because I want to actually check something. Guys, W's in the chat for Gene. Gene sent a $1 donation saying it's absolutely disgusting. We live in a society where the amount of money you have determines the quality of your healthcare you receive. Absolutely, Gene. That's what we're saying, and it should not be that. W's in the chat for Gene. Also, W's in the chat for Sir Bobbles over on YouTube, who sent a $4.99 YouTube super chat to say the math for private is average 31% for crappy quality. Medicare for all is 11% monthly for executive quality. I don't know exactly. Anyway, I prefer Bernie. Anyway, W's in the chat for Sir Bobbles. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Also, make sure we're taking care of Carbon. You got it for a second. I got to look up something that I just saw.
Right. Yeah, listen, Maritime, are you telling me, and are you telling Santana, is that like people are misinformed voters, right? We agree with that, right? Like, because study after study shows that like a single payer healthcare system would cost less and be less of a financial burden on the people. For typical individual going to a hospital visit under World One, where we don't have single payer healthcare system, they are paying more out of their pocket than that same person under a single payer healthcare system. And if they don't want to look into that, well, there's misinformation. So my question is, like, what are you going to do about that misinformation gap?
What is there to do? I called my New York State senator today.
Ask ChatGPT. I don't know, like, you sound very bleak about it. Like, just get out there and organize.
What I think is that you need to you have to I think you have to lie to people to get them on board with things like this, right? And I think
it's a true statement. Just be specific with them. Hey, you're right now for this visit, you are losing $800 out of your hard-earned money. In a single payer healthcare system, you would probably pay maybe $100 or something like that. So you're paying $700 more than you would have. Be specific about it.
Carbon, I'll give you an example that's very popular right now. Okay. People don't want to pay taxes, right? But they're okay with paying tariffs, right? Even though at the end of the day, it's the same thing. It's a tax on them. They're okay with one, but not the other.
They're not.
Tell them it's okay.
They're not.
Tell them it's a tariff on healthcare. There you go.
And so
Republicans
like
will be on board.
That's what I was just about to say. You say that people are okay with paying tariffs when people who actually know what a tariff is not okay with paying tariffs. Now, you do have this subsection of Trump supporters now who say, oh, we like the tariffs. But before that, they were not saying that because, one, they didn't know what tariffs were. That's why after the election, the actual search for what is a tariff completely spiked. But also, that's why they were complaining about the price of eggs. That's why we continue to talk about, hey, how much are the eggs now? Because they made such a big deal about it. Like, we know for a fact that most people who voted for Donald Trump, are liars, and they're unwilling to actually admit that they're wrong, and they're willing to actually acquiesce to anything that Donald Jimothy Trump says, just so they don't have to actually go against what he's saying. They're not good with increased prices. They're not good with tariffs if they actually know what a tariff is. They are just good at actually worshiping at the altar of Donald Trump.
And look, dude, you mentioned that everyone knows what tariffs are, right?
No, I didn't say that. I said not everyone knows what tariffs are. I said, and if they do know what tariffs are, then they're not good with those.
And people still really don't know what it is, right? I'm sure you have people come up here and say that the other country is paying for it, right?
Yes, because Donald Trump to this day, to the Trump administration, the White House, the press secretary, they're still lying about what tariffs are. They're still telling you have certain people that only believe what comes out of Trump's mouth. And as long as Donald Trump is saying that tariffs are something that other countries pay, it doesn't matter what type of data you show them. It doesn't matter what type of information you give them. They're still not going to believe it until Donald Trump says it, and he's not going to say it because he's lying.
Okay, fair. That's a fair point. But I think in the same way that we were able to get Republicans on board with paying more is perhaps a strategy we should look at, right?
How did you? You want us to lie more?
Why not?
Do
you disagree?
Marathon, are you married?
No.
I know why. Listen, friend, lying to someone to actually get something you want is not a good way to go about life. One, it's going to come back on you, right? Juju is a mother sucker. But two, we should be honest. And, the quickest way to actually lose power for politicians is to actually openly lie to their constituents, because when they do find out that they're lying, then you see things like, Republicans showing up at town halls and yelling, and certain people that are elected getting so scared that they start canceling all of their town halls. People start to revolt when you lie to them. That's not a good plan.
You make up more lies so they can't last one.
Holy shit!
Excuse
my language.
Donald Trump. Gotcha. We should just be Donald Trump. There you
go. Well, it works, right?
No, I mean, at what cost?
Whatever cost it takes to get
by any means necessary.
Yeah,
that is wild. That's wild. Like I've never heard that logic before. W's in the chat for Josh, who sent a $1 donation, said, "I'm so perfectly fine with paying taxes, and I despise the concept of tariffs." Exactly. W's in the chat for Josh, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Don't forget about Carbon. He's almost at 7,000 coins. Can we get him up to, forget 7,000 coins? Can we go ahead and get Carbon up to 8,000 coins? 8 Kobe. Can we get him up to 8,000 coins? Can we? Also, guys, just a reminder, because I see people in the box and they are friendlies, guys. This is not Late Nights with Santana. This is Sparring with Santana, debates with Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you have enough cojones to actually get up here and defend your position, like Maritime, we don't agree with his position. We don't even like his position, but at least he's in the box to actually defend his position. So if you are willing to get in the box, Go ahead and request up. We will give you a spot and the space to make your statements. You can demonstrate every single thing that you know for us. Maritime. I don't think that's a winning formula. I don't think lying to people is a winning formula. I mean, I get what you're saying. Yes, technically it's worked for Donald Trump, but also I think Carbon, I think that you and I can agree on this one. Donald Trump is a cult of personality. Like, not everyone is Donald Trump. Not everyone can just, lie their way into every situation.
Yep.
Okay.
That's where he bases his entire life. It's just, I mean, there is no morality. It's just
nope.
If it works, get it. Do it.
And but I mean, it did work, right? I mean, we had
I mean, what the Nazis what they did almost worked too, right? Does that justify it?
Wait, and I guess that's the question I then have, Maritime. Like, are you saying that any outcome is justified? I mean, any action taken is justifiable as long as you get the outcome desired.
Yeah, you sound like a utilitarian.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, wow.
You said what?
I agree with 100% with that statement.
Wow. So okay, cool.
Wait,
Hold on. Okay, go ahead. You got it, Carter. Go ahead.
No, you got it. Go
ahead.
Go first.
Okay.
All right.
Maritime. Walk with me. Maritime. I want a new pair of Stacey Adams. I don't wear Stacey Adams anymore, but let's just say I want a new pair of Stacey Adams. The Stacey Adams cost $150. And I know for a fact that I don't have $150, but Carbon here has $200 in his wallet, but Carbon's sleep. Should I go in Carbon's wallet and take that $200 or $150 out and go buy those Stacey Adams? Because if I do that, it would actually get me the desired outcome that I want. Is that okay?
You're talking about shoes. Switch it to healthcare, and then I would say there's an argument to be made there.
Okay, cool. Let's stress test that. So, in order to get universal healthcare, would you be willing to coup the country, overthrow the current Republican control, give all power to the Democratic Party as long as they actually pass universal health care? Do you think that it's justifiable to actually overturn the will of the people, get rid of the people in power, just so we can get universal health care? Would you be okay with that?
If it was done legally by...
How is a coup legal?
It's a coup. It's by definition illegal.
Then no, I wouldn't be okay with a coup specifically. But I think
so. The compromise is morality, not legality.
I don't think. What do you mean by that? Sorry.
You're fine with compromising your morals and quote unquote your morals and values, as long as you don't actually break a law.
I mean, if that will get the desired outcome, sure.
That is wild. Carbon, you had something for him.
It hit that goal. Let's go. Yeah, what work in ethics is legality doing for you? I don't understand, because it seems to be that even you would make like ethical judgments even if they violated the law, right? So, let's say it was illegal for you to like stop a school pew-pewing, right? Let's just say that a town or a state passed that law that said, hey, it's illegal to stop a school pew-pewing, right? Nonetheless, if you were the only person who was able to stop it and you knew you could stop it, you would do it, right? Even if it was illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the work that legality is doing? We're talking about ethics.
Well, because we're talking about the election process, right?
No, we're talking about like whether you're justified in doing a particular action in order to get a desired result, and then your constraint was the legality of the situation. I'm trying to figure out like where your ethics lie. We're not talking about legality.
Well, then I would agree that I guess you would circumvent the law, right? Sure.
So you would circumvent the law to produce a good result, right? So when Santana asked you, would you perform a coup in order to get universal health care, then your answer should have been yes, right?
No.
That's what you would. That's your position. Okay. Well,
not.
Okay. Explain the difference for me, please.
You're painting the entire picture with a broad stroke of a paintbrush, right? And it doesn't work like that. Okay, so
tell me why it's disanalogous.
Well, because I think in some instances it's okay, in others it's not. And when you're talking about the risk of the entire democracy, I would say that's going too far. But if you do it in a legal manner, such as lying, then I think that is okay, right?
The government is allowed to lie to you and to its people.
Yeah. I mean,
but we're not allowed to lie to them.
Well, us lying to them wouldn't make a big difference, right?
Yeah, what? Like if you're in court, you can't lie. You can't lie to the judge. You can't lie to a police officer. You can't lie to it. So the government can lie to us, but we can't lie to them.
What would we lie to them about? That I don't like. It doesn't matter what we lie to them about because it's not going to make a difference, right?
I got a genuine question, Maritime.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a moral compass?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to morality, where's your line?
I think if the outcome benefits people overall, then I think we shouldn't worry too much about the morality of what it took to get there. So the instances you brought up about the money for the shoes, right? I mentioned if it was healthcare, I think that would be a lot more okay than just buying the shoes. If you took the money to pay for your healthcare, I don't know that I would disagree with it.
So long as the outcome is income, like it all adds up to you.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Wow.
So I guess at the other end of the spectrum, right? How can you actually justify voting for Donald Trump and supporting Donald Trump when it comes to W's in the chat for Julie, who who just became a subscriber? How can you justify if your premise is that anything is necessary when it comes to, or it can be deemed necessary when it comes to an overall positive impact to the masses? How can you actually justify your vote for Donald Trump, understanding that him being in power overall hurts the masses in multiple ways, whether we talk about the actual communities, whether it's, people of color, whether it's, the queer community, whether it's, the veteran community, like multiple communities, overarching. Everything that he proposed and everything that he's doing is actually negative and impacting a vast amount of people in a negative way. Like, how do you square that circle if your premise is like anything should be done for a positive outcome, but voting for someone who's doing anything for a negative outcome?
Well, when I voted for him, it was mainly around monetary policies, right? I didn't vote for him for the rest of the stuff that he is doing, right? And I don't agree with some of those things. But when we're talking about morality, I think, extending these social programs is worth damage.
But like the problem is that you're the only one talking about extending these social programs. Name one Republican, not even Jimothy, screw Jimothy. Name one Republican who is actually out here advocating for increasing or saving any type of social safety nets, because we know for a fact that all the other Republican, like the Republican talking points are, oh, well, Social Security is going to fail us at some point. We might as well go ahead and hack it off right now. So who's advocating besides you for this?
I mean, plenty of Republicans are
Name one.
I don't have it.
Name one. You said plenty. Name one.
Do you disagree when like they're talking about cutting those benefits, right?
You said that they're gonna save the benefits
By cutting it.
They're gonna save the benefits by cutting it.
Yes, it'll extend for longer.
So I'm gonna save my money by spending it. Is that what you're saying? I'm gonna save my left foot by chopping it off. I'm gonna save. None of that makes sense. None of it makes sense, Maritime.
At the rate that we're going, right, in 10 years, we're already looking at a reduction in benefits, right? Right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so if we cut the spending from those programs, it will last longer.
How?
Because it's right now we implemented these programs that when we pay into it, every paycheck, it gets spent actively, right? It's like a Ponzi scheme. When we put in money,
no, it's not a Ponzi.
It gets dished out.
I don't think you hear yourself talking right now, Maritime. Like there's so if we cut Social Security, then we'll have more Social Security. That's what you're saying.
It'll last longer.
How? How does it last longer if you're no longer funding it, but people are still using it?
It's Elon Musk talking points. That's what it is.
No, but by doing things like extending the age or something, right? That will mean less benefits get paid out. We'll have more in the fund that will last longer. What I'm saying.
Yeah, listen, Maritime, we Ducko and Daddy said they already talked to you about this last night. So I don't know why you're bringing it up again. It's like you didn't even think about anything that anybody said to you.
Let me read a couple of these off, guys. W's in the chat for Gene. Gene sent $1 donation saying, how is Maritime okay with subsidizing billionaires like Elon, but not okay with doing the same for universal health care? I don't know. Like at this point, Gene, I genuinely don't know. W's in the chat for Lilith. Lilith sent $1 donation, said liars cannot be trusted. You're absolutely right. It's wild. It's nasty work. Also, guys, W's in the chat for Jesse. Jesse sent a $5 donation saying, how much to kick the traitor? He was on Dean and Parker's live yesterday. I'm sick of him. Jesse, we're not going to put a bounty on his head right now, but, you know, it sounds like Maritime. It sounds like you keep, guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. And if you would, please make sure you're taking care of my African brother, Carbon. Let's make sure that we are running up his gifts. Make sure we're hitting his pay links. Make sure we're paying for him some ibuprofen or maybe some Jack Daniels or something, because I know he will need it because of the conversation that's being had. Last but not least,
I'm honestly, I feel good just knowing that he has 0 coins. Okay?
Yeah. That is a good thing. Last but not least, guys, this is Sparring with Santana, debates with Trump supporters. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Please do not request up if you are friendly. We are not talking to friendlies. We are only talking to Trump supporters. So please, only request up if you're a Trump supporter. If you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you agree with Maritime, I guess, or if you at least have faith like Maritime. Listen, Maritime, I love my wife so much. I do. And she makes me a better man. Mm-hmm. But even my wife doesn't have the faith in me that you have in Donald Trump. It is wild. This is like staggering. I don't get it.
What I'm arguing is not popular even in my own party, right? And I get that. I understand that. But I think, I don't think enough people are educated on what these programs cost and what it takes or what it will take to keep them. I think a lot of people are misinformed about it. And yeah. And I guess.
Yeah, the word educated, the word saying you're educated on this, the word educated is doing a lot of work for you, man.
Yeah. Hunter, are you a Trump supporter?
You know, I wasn't for a while.
Did you vote for him?
I'm an independent. I didn't end up voting for him.
Who'd you vote for?
I gotta tell you right now.
Who'd you vote for?
Take it for what it is. The honest truth is I didn't vote.
Hold tight for me just a second, Hunter. Hold tight for just a second.
Sure.
Go on mute for me just a second. This is what we're gonna do, chat. I'm gonna throw up a quick poll. Right? Oh, I can't. There's already a poll. Listen. All right, do this. Put a 2 in the chat if you want to talk to Hunter. Put a 3 in the chat if you want to keep talking to Maritime. 2 for Hunter, 3 for Maritime. 2 for Hunter, 3 for Maritime. What do we got? 2 for Hunter, 3 for Maritime. 2 for Hunter, 3 for Maritime.
What's the news here?
Somebody put 0.
Carbon, you're missing a finger.
All right, Maritime, we're gonna go ahead and get you up out the paint. We're gonna talk to Hunter. Listen, it's been real. Oh, geez, Louise, that was a doozy.
Say I missed a finger, but that stressed me the fuck out because I almost lost a finger like a week and a half ago.
About a week ago. Oh my gosh. Hunter, why do you support Donald Jimothy Trump now? Help me understand that one. Hunter, I'm going to send you a request to come off mute.
Hit that button, Hunter.
Hunter, all you have to do is tap your profile. There you go. Hunter, why do you support Trump now?
Yeah, I've kind of come around to him a little bit more over the past year.
You warmed up to him. Is it the fascism? Because that's new. It's got to be the fascism.
Got to be the fascism, huh? Yeah. I really think that Biden made a mess of our. I don't really like even talking about the border situation. I feel like it's just a broken record. I have some key points. You have some key points. You'll say it's unfair. I'll say it's good for the country.
You don't know what I'll say.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So if we want to delve into that, we can. I also have a pretty strong position on tariffs.
That's interesting.
I know that you're going to want to rather be taxed than tariffed.
I don't think you know anything about me.
No, I just heard you say it already.
Yeah. But, no, I mean, like I'm talking about if we got to increase taxes to get universal health care, I'll do it.
Yeah, I really like the ideology of universal health care. I've had a lot of frustration with healthcare, and if I feel like that's across the nation. We're all frustrated with these companies, privatized companies, taking advantage of common Americans. Is that how you feel as well? Or
yeah, I mean, I just don't like for-profit industries that capitalize on people losing their lives, and the fact that we actually treat the symptom while keeping the actual problem going. I mean, like we don't actually look to heal people. With that being said, listen, real quick, guys, drop some W's in the chat for my little brother Isaiah. What up, Isaiah?
Santana,
what's going on?
What's up, Carbon? Hey,
you know my African brother Carbon, Isaiah?
Of course I do. Come on,
we cross paths. I haven't been on this live before, but one day,
Man, Santana, I hear you pulling up to my city, man. How you gonna be pulling up to my city and you don't check in, bro?
Well, first and foremost, first and foremost, you don't check text messages, so there's that. Right, so I'm gonna put you on Front Street. When I text Carbon, he texts me back. So yeah, no, listen. On the 22nd, myself and other creators will be heading to Texas for the Unfuck America Tour. Yes, the Unfuck America Tour. And which, speaking of, guys, if you are interested, if you go to the first link in my bio, you can actually help support. Listen, guys, we are doing something amazing. We're going to go out and we're going to talk to so many different people. We're going to push back on the misinformation and disinformation of people like Charlie Kirk and people that actually just spread nonsense and lies. Apparently, Maritime's good with it. Hey, I just had a guy up here that just told me that lying is fine as long as it gets whatever outcome you want. He has no moral compass, right? Anyway, we're going to be out pushing back on those actual narratives. And so if you want to actually chip in, please consider doing so. Hit the first link in my pay link in the link tree. And if you want to chip in $1, $1, $2, $3, $100, whatever, the Unfuck America Tour, it's going to be on Tuesday. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited about it. Yeah, I'll be there. I mean, again, you don't check text messages.
Man, wait. How long are you gonna be here?
I'll be there for 3 days.
And are you gonna be in like staying in College Station, or are you gonna be in Houston?
I'll text you. I don't want to say it on live.
Yeah, don't say it on live.
We got 7 million people in this damn city, man.
Yeah, but you know, man, some stuff.
I get you.
Hey, guess who's in the box wanting some attention?
Who?
You already know.
Oh, he's been trying to come on for the
He's been trying to get on everybody's live. He is starving for attention.
Man, I told Leah, man, stay where you at.
Yeah.
Stay where you at.
I'm good, Liam. You can go ahead and drop. You can drop.
He got a. Hey, somebody paid me $250 to give him a year ban on my live. He banned until next year.
Are you serious?
Yep.
I might have to auction that off of my camera. how much the band live for a year? Well, it max out.
Oh my god. Okay, all right. This is what I want to do. Hey, Isaiah, you want to talk to Hunter about tariffs? He's a advocate of the tariffs.
He's an advocate of the tariffs. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why? Why you like the tariffs?
Yeah. Hi, Isaiah. The tariffs. Why do I even tolerate the tariffs right now? Our economy is down, right? People are going to be, if they're not suffering already, they will be, right? I mean, we're not going to be able to get manufacturing in this country for at least who knows how long. The amount of time it takes to get manufacturing in this company to set up the infrastructure systems required to push for production of this company or in this country, let alone support our country with our own production systems, but then to export to other countries to try to make sales to other countries, that would take potentially a lot of time. So these infrastructure systems,
I thought you said he was for the tariffs.
Oh, I am.
So I'm trying to figure out what you just said.
You just gotta let me roll, and I'll get to
it. Isaiah, he tried to say let him cook.
I was like, what's he talking about?
Yeah.
You're not setting yourself up for success.
So I'm making sure that I already understand your point, so that you can correct me.
He's been saying that he's been saying that the whole time. He said he knows our angles.
No. Well, I want to make sure that if I say anything wrong, you can correct me. And if you want to correct me, that's fine. I just want to go for that. So far, you haven't corrected me, so I'm going to assume that's probably what we believe the case will be. I think
we've just been trying to let you speak without actually interrupting.
Oh, that's.
Well, I was just trying to listen.
Exactly.
I was sitting here like, where is he going with this?
Silence does not mean that we comply. It just means that we're letting you speak.
Oh, you know what? Honestly, I think I'm like, what's the word? Conformed a little bit to like thinking I have to be defensive almost, because I've talked to others before, and I just get cut off so quickly. So I appreciate that, really. Anyways, yes. So long story short is short-term hurt. It's a short-term pain, long-term growth plan.
I hate that. I hate that saying.
Why do they keep going with this, bro?
I hate that saying. I do. I hate that so much. The two say I hate the short-term pain, long-term gains, and I hate two wings of the same bird. Like I hate those.
I hate it too. But Hunter, what is the long-term gain that you think that you're going to get? I'm curious about this.
So there's a few things. Initially, when we put on these tariffs, what we want to do, or the plan, which I don't know if you think if there's a plan or not, or if he's just shooting from the hip with no plan.
Correct.
But the plan is to cause sudden shock, not only to China. China is not the sole target of these tariffs. The purpose is to shock the world, to allow other countries. Now, whether you believe in this is morally not okay.
I mean, I'm just really curious as to like what is the benefit? Like, you don't gotta like like I just want to know what do you think the benefit's gonna be?
So we'll get to it. So you shock the world.
You gotta listen. Speed run this one for me, please, Hunter, because we're like hanging on and speed run it for me.
Sure.
Okay. What's the benefit?
It's a long-term plan. You gotta go through it.
Just tell us what are the I don't care about the like. You know what I'm saying? Like
how
we're
getting there.
Just
you should be able to say it in like 2 sentences, bro.
Okay, that's fine. But the way we get there matters. But getting deals with other countries to create relationships long term.
Like what? Like what?
Opening up markets for the United States to sell our products.
What does that mean?
That means when we eventually manufacture here.
What markets do we not have access to?
Well, we can't. I don't know all the markets.
So how can you say that we don't have access to markets if you don't even know the markets?
Oh, we're not allowed to sell in certain markets. China's
like
one of them. Nations in the EU are one of them.
We're not allowed to sell in the EU?
Well, you're not going to see a lot of Ford.
Are you saying we're not allowed to sell in the EU?
Germany? Do you see a lot of Ford cars driving around in Germany?
No, but what I'm saying is you're saying that we're not allowed to sell in the EU.
No, not so not so what's the word I'm looking for? Restricted like that. We are
restricted. What are restrictions?
We are de-incentivized to sell our products in other countries.
So you're worried about what other country? Let me get this straight. Of course. Your belief is that in order to make the American economy better, and in response to Germany making American products more expensive in Germany, you want to raise prices on Americans?
Let's break that apart. Can we?
Hey, Carbon, not somebody in the chat saying I should have said 3.
Guys,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If you want to have a talk, I'm willing to have a talk. But
we just want you to like
semantics matter.
No, we're trying to give you the space, but like you're not like getting there. We're trying to understand your argument. I promise you, we're giving you the space to make your argument, but you're not making it. You're pontificating.
Yeah. Okay. I am making. Okay. So go ahead again. You said explicitly Germany. It's not just Germany. It's more countries in the EU.
No, but I mean, it's just like saying what you're mad about, and this is, and long story short, you think that this is about reciprocal tariffs because you think that other countries are putting tariffs on the United States. Wait a second, I'm not. Look, I'm not finished. The reality is, you think that there needs to be a knee-jerk response to this. The problem with that is that that's not how tariffs work. If Germany has a tariff on the United States, it's the German people that pays that tariff. Why do we give a shit?
Because they don't buy our products.
What?
Because they won't buy our products.
What does it matter?
It's income to United States business. It creates jobs for.
Oh, they seem to be. They seem to be doing.
Find a job. If I need a job, I can go work somewhere.
So are you saying
if we have that across the EU? The amount of production will.
So we must have super high unemployment.
Real quick. Massive W's in the chat for Kim, who said a $20 donation saying, "I demand a recount. Bring Maritime back." W's in the chat. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a YouTube super chat. Carbon's here. Make sure we're hitting his pay links. And also, guys, Isaiah's running for Congress. So if you like what he's doing, if you like how he's cooking, You can always donate to his campaign, right? You can't send him money directly, so don't do that. But you can donate to his campaign if you actually like it. So hit that actual pay link. All right.
Yeah, get them 22 coins back, Isaiah.
Yeah, you gotta send them coins back this way, buddy. Give me them shekels.
I feel like Maritime might want to come back because you guys can pick on him a little easier, and I think your crowd likes that.
I want to talk to you about Kilmore. I'm gonna let him finish on the tariffs.
Okay, cool. Let me try to speed this up. Hey, why aren't we talking about the actual trade surplus that we have?
The trade surplus?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you want to talk about regarding the trade surplus?
Do you know that we have a trade surplus?
Are you saying that we? All right,
there's a certain sector. It's a certain sector of trade that the United States actually trades at a higher clip than any other country in the world, and it actually is very beneficial to our economy. And if this trade surplus is actually starting to be tariff with like reciprocal tariffs, or if they start to actually eliminate us from certain markets, it would really hurt our economy. Do you know what that actual sector is?
That sector?
Yeah, Trump doesn't talk about it. He doesn't talk about it, but we make a lot of money.
Okay, so you're looking for the specific industry in which we have a higher trade?
A trade surplus, yes. I'll give it to you. It's our service industry, right? We export certain. That makes sense. Yeah, and so if we Trump is playing a game of with fire, because if we already know that there are certain countries that limit the amount of, let's say, like Hollywood movies that we can actually export out to certain countries. But if Trump keeps playing this tick for tack game, and they actually start to put tariffs on and limit and restrict our service industry and what we can actually push out to other countries, that's going to greatly hurt our actual economy here. So I guess with that being said, you're a proponent of tariffs, but you're not understanding that there's more than just a trade deficit. And also, like, again, there's no plan behind what he's actually doing. If there was a plan, hey, how did he come up with the way that he was going to tariff countries?
ChatGPT.
He did it. Listen, Donald Trump decided he was going to put DEI tariffs on everybody.
Okay.
How did he come up with the tariffs?
So the tariffs are a plan to create space between.
No. How did he come up with how much he's going to tariff countries?
I'm not questioning the president.
No. I'm just telling you, like, we know how. I know how. Do you want to know how?
Are you absolutely positive?
I'm 100,000% sure this is how he came up with the tariffs. Yes. They literally told us how he did it. He took his economic advisors. They published it. They showed us the formula.
That they used the help of AI to produce.
I don't know if Allen Iverson helped or not, but whoever did messed us completely up.
Okay.
So what they actually did was they took the amount that we have for a deficit and they divided it by the total trade amount and then divided by 2. That's all they did. That's the only thing they did.
Yeah. Like I said, what they're trying to do, okay, is create shock across the world, create space for negotiations. They don't really care how.
Are they trying to shock our markets? Because our stock markets are surely in shock.
It's not looking too great.
That's honestly, for the plan that they have in place, that's fine. What they want long term is to create space. They don't want to tariff anybody for long periods of time. They want to break down.
I thought we were supposed to get rid of income
barriers.
Taxes.
They want to break down trade barriers.
I thought we were supposed to get rid of income taxes. So do you want tariffs or not? You guys keep on going, saying you like tariffs one day and then you don't like tariffs. What is it?
I think you'll probably reduce tariffs, but you'll always see some form of tariff.
So we will pay income taxes.
I'm not entirely sure if we'll be paying income taxes.
How can we not be paying income taxes if you don't think that? Well, how can we not be paying income taxes if you're saying that you want to take off the tariff?
I don't think we'll ever not be paying income taxes, to be honest.
So, but you just said that in a year we might not be paying income taxes.
Well, I can't predict the future. I don't have a crystal ball, but what I think.
Trump is saying that we're not going to be paying income taxes.
You brought it up for a second, and I said it could be or not in a year. I'm not saying.
But Trump said that we are. But Trump said that we aren't going to be paying income taxes.
I don't know if it's that explicit or not. If you heard him say that explicitly, then okay.
He did.
But I don't believe that.
To be fair, he says a lot of stuff.
I mean, but it's just amazing.
And by the way,
it's amazing how they go from like. It's amazing how they go. Oh, you're not going to be paying income. We're going to be so wealthy. We're going to make America wealthy again. Is what they say. And then all of a sudden, it's a negotiating tool.
Yeah.
They'll say it's a negotiating tool. They'll say, okay, yeah, what's going to happen with the tariffs? It's going to bring on the manufacturing. So that way we don't have to import. But if there's no imports, then what are you tariffing? Where's the income?
We're going to have to import. Yeah,
tariff vibes.
Gotta import. the tariffs should not and wouldn't be used long term.
So then we are going to have to pay taxes.
Go ahead.
So then we are going to have to pay taxes.
Likely, I can't dissect his entire plan. He's keeping it pretty held to the chest. But I will say,
you don't say.
Is that a way to say it?
No, it's not. It's not the way you turn the phrase. It's the fact that listen, when I tell you this, when I make shit up on the fly, I hold it close to my chest too. Like, if I'm just gonna do random stuff, you're not gonna know what the plan for the random stuff is either.
Well, I think
shout out to Jesse for the $2 Venmo. Ask him how tariffs.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, Hunter. Hold on 1 second, Hunter. Go ahead and Carbon, because I got two to read off as well.
Yeah, Jesse sent $2. Ask him how tariffs are supposed to bring back manufacturing in this country if they're not long term.
Sorry, away.
How are tariffs supposed to bring manufacturing back into the country if they're not long term?
Right. Why have tariffs if they're not long term? I guess is the question, right?
No.
The question, how can you, no, that was not the question.
How could you bring back long term manufacturing if you're saying that the tariffs aren't supposed to be on for a long time?
Right. So the initial tariffs aren't meant to stay on long term. They're meant to global shock from China and from China to the rest of the world. It's a logistics chain. Let me finish so I can explain. It's a logistics chain. So when these countries feel isolated to an extent because the American market for developing countries
is no
longer accessible, they're going to come to the table to say, hey, we want to be a part of, I'm getting there, I promise, Isaiah. We want to be a part of being in business with America. And when these countries come to shake hands with America, what will happen is we're going to be able to stop the tariffs, which was the entire point the whole time, so that we can have free trade globally.
Yeah, that wasn't the question.
Bro, where's my calculator, bro?
Yeah, you like dodged that.
Where's my Uncle Nearest?
Brother, you're a dream shaking like Hakeem Olajuwon in the Summit, bro. Like just dream shaking.
All right, where did I miss? Carbon, where did I miss?
Well, hold on. Let me read these two off. W's in the chat for Josh, who sent a $1 donation saying, modern U.S. healthcare left me homeless with a broke spine. Wow. Sorry to hear that. I hate to hear these people say, but the tariffs and stand against universal health care. You're absolutely right. Like it's ASA 9, it's ASA 10, it's ASA 11, ASA 12, like mind blowing. W's in the chat for Josh, and hopefully, you've rebounded and recovered. W's in the chat for Jesse, who sent a $2 donation saying, Hunter is about to start backpedaling. Isaiah only asks a few questions and the whole tariff argument starts to unravel. W's in the chat for Jesse. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. Over on YouTube, you can send a YouTube super chat. Also, make sure we're taking care of Carbon. Hit his pay links. Isaiah's here. Don't send him gifts, but he is running for office, so there's that. And last but not least, guys, get the likes up. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Tap the screen, share the live. If you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. I see there's some friendlies in the box. If you are a friendly, please drop out. We are not talking to friendlies. This is sparring, and we are only talking to Trump supporters. If you're friendly and you want to get something across, you can actually put it in the chat, and if I see it, I'll read it off. Drop it to a mod if they might get it to me, or you can send a donation and send a $2 donation saying I'm assuming this is pronounced Schrogen-Diller tariffs. I don't know.
Oh, Schrodinger's tariffs.
Say it again.
Like Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's cat.
I don't know what Schrodinger's.
It's both there and it's not there. That's
Schrodinger's tariffs. Yeah, they do both at once or nothing at all. Who knows? W's in the chat for Ann for that $2 donation. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys.
All good. Also, shout out to Brilliant for the $5 super chat. But the point is that if the tariffs are removed, what's stopping a company from just offshoring again?
From offshoring to other.
Yeah, if it's going to be cheaper because the tariffs are gone, what's stopping them from offshoring again?
It should be to the point where we.
Hey, wait, Carbon. Did you just say? Hold on. Did you just say that they're gonna come back and then Trump take the tariffs off and they be like, "Gotcha, bitch," and just leave?
Yeah, like why? Like Hunter, why wouldn't they just wait? Like, because there's a good chance, that in 2028 a Democratic president is gonna win. Why wouldn't they just wait until?
Yeah, because Carbon. Because that's the whole point. Is like. Why would anybody go and invest hundreds of billions of dollars to go and build new stuff here when they can just wait him out? They can just wait him out.
Bro's like 80.
Because you do understand that when Democrats flip the House, one of the first things we're going to do is make sure that we go and take his tariff power away from him, right?
Yeah, it's too bad the two-party system really works against really any side because it's a back and forth playing field and nobody can really get anything done.
Address the argument, please.
Yeah, that's fine. People are going to still manufacture in the United States because it should be cheaper if we provide the amount of infrastructure we need to do so.
That wasn't his question, though.
Yeah, it was.
No,
you said, why would people still...
you were dodging.
No, Isaiah, he literally asked me, why would people, if the tariffs are gone, sorry, I'm plugging in my phone. If the tariffs are gone, right, what incentive do we have to produce in the United States instead of going offshore? I am telling you, the incentive is it should be cheaper in the United States.
No, that's not how you answer that question. The answer is how.
How? The answer was why. Or the question was why.
The answer is who.
Who?
All right.
Who, what, where, when, why?
Bro, this man.
Dude, I'm telling you.
This is
it's not how.
This is like late stage.
I don't.
What are you talking about here? What was the question? I answered it. It will be cheaper to make products in America. Why would I go offshore when I don't have to ship overseas and it's cheaper?
Because you're saying that these tariffs are temporary.
Correct.
You're saying that they're temporary.
Correct.
So if the tariffs come off, what's stopping a company from saying "fuck you"? We're just going to continue to do what they're doing.
An American company or what?
Yes.
Yeah, an American company is going to source from America that has a supply chain and production built in America.
No.
Are you talking about companies outside of America? What are you talking about?
Bro, how can you not? I don't understand, bro.
Well, freaking it, just explain it.
It's your fault, Isaiah. You're not explaining it good enough.
Bro, I feel. Oh my
God. Hey, okay.
What company? Explain which company.
Listen. Let's say, okay, I'm an American company, right? I make, you know what? I make mic stands, right? I make mic stands, but since making mic stands in the U.S. have become so expensive, I decide that I want to make my mic stands in China. All right, so I go to China. Right. And then here comes Donald Jimothy Trump with his big bad tariffs. Right. And he places tariffs and makes it super expensive for me to actually import my mic stands to the US. Right.
Correct.
And so then I say, you know what? Howdy, partner. I'm going to actually move my mic stand business back to the US because, there's the tariffs. But then they take the tariffs off.
You're missing a crucial point here that I've been making and that you've been overlooking. The crucial point is the tariffs are reduced slowly while production facilities are made in the U.S. to produce the needs for your stand, for your mic stand.
Cool. Okay. Cool. So it's a fading incline removal of tariff. I will grant you that. Let's say that it takes 5 years. 5 years. 5 years, right? 5 years.
Well, we need to do it quicker, and that's why you've seen such radical movements.
Dog, I don't understand how you cannot see this. If the tariff is temporary, it's a temporary tariff. And let's say it's an American company that has a manufacturing facility outside of the United States. Okay? If the tariff is temporary, then what's stopping the company from saying, all right, back to business as usual, because the tariff is not there anymore. It's temporary.
Hey, Hunter. If Johnny has 5 apples,
but he sells 2, and then he buys 1, and then he sells another 2. Guess what? He has 3 apples.
He's not gonna
Is that
get
what you're
that.
asking?
He's not. I think he's cooked.
Let me switch gears.
Hold on. Let me read this. Let me read this out, and then Carbon, please switch gears. W's in the chat for Jess, who sent a $3 donation to say 10% of the U.S. economy is manufacturing. We are a service and consumer-based economy at 77%. I was saying that 70% is anyway. Hunter, why bring back manufacture? We don't need manufacture to bring wealth back. Absolutely. And even more so, like, why not invest in like STEM programs, math and science, and actually improve our actual education system so we can take advantage of this pending AI boom and things along those lines, instead of trying to put people back in textile factories or making chips or whatever. Anyway, guys, W's in the chat for Jesse. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Carbon, switch gears, please.
Yeah, so
or
Hunter,
another country.
What's your
all those? Go ahead.
Well, we're switching gears here. So what's your take on the illegal deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia?
I think due process is important.
Okay, so he did something wrong there, yeah?
Who's he? We need to start specifying. Instead of saying
the Trump administration,
American company, instead of he, we need to specify who it is. So Trump administration. Yeah. Yeah, that was a mess up.
Okay. And then they're not acknowledging that mess up, correct?
I think they did.
Where?
They didn't say that they didn't give him. They didn't say they acknowledged that that it was a mistake.
No, in public, and of course in court they're going to say something different. In public, they are not acknowledging any error, correct?
I don't see a difference. I think acknowledgement is acknowledgement. In court.
Wait, okay, so why are they contradicting themselves in court, and why did they fire the lawyer who admitted to the mistake?
No, I don't. All I know as far as this point. So if they're firing the lawyer, then there might be it might have been the lawyer's fault for not checking everything that needed to be done. It might have been put on the lawyer.
Well, he said that it was an error. He admitted that it was an error, right? Or it was probably on purpose, but nonetheless, he said that it was an error, which contradicted the government's position, which is we're allowed to do this. We're justified in doing this, correct? And they're saying it, like you saw in the meeting with the president of El Salvador. You saw it in like all these different press tours and all this. They go on Newsmax and Fox News. They're saying, no, we were justified. He was a terrorist or something like that. He's the world's nicest terrorist, I guess. But regardless, they are not admitting to this mistake. They're supporting their own. My question to you is, like, doesn't that seem to be an impeachable offense to you?
No, not at all. Yeah, I think you need to really think about the climate of this country right now, on top of how the average American feels regarding the illegal immigration crisis, and apply that.
I'm not broadening the term. I'm talking about an impeachable offense with respect to Kilmar Abrego Garcia, right? How is it? Now, he did deny him due process and he illegally deported him. Is that true or that false?
They did not give him due process.
So Donald Trump did take an oath to the Constitution, failed in that oath, and is currently publicly defending that position. How is that not an impeachable offense? And they're weak, like JD Vance is over there going on Twitter saying it's too hard to defend the due process clause. Long tweet just saying, "Oh, I don't like due process." Right. So why would that not be an impeachable offense under your view?
I think part of it is he holds a large majority of the will of the people, but I know that part doesn't matter in this because we're talking technicality.
Wait, who? Wait, you said he holds
42% approval rating.
A large majority of the will of the people.
Crazy word.
Yeah. I think the people that voted for him thought they were going to get cheaper eggs, and all they got was sky high. Mm-hmm. But in any event, I don't want to distract from Carbon.
Yeah, nobody who voted for Trump is regretting it. It's a fake push.
Go back to the impeachment because I have invested interest.
It seems to be that he took an oath of office. JD Vance, all them, they took an oath of office. They violated that oath of office last month. Probably before too, but they violated it last month in the deportation, and they are currently publicly what seems to be defying court orders, but they're publicly stating that they did not make any mistake, that they did not violate his due process. So they're currently defending the action that violated the Constitution. How is, under your view, how is that not an impeachable offense on its own right?
So what is the in the Constitution due process? Mm-hmm. Is that refer to all citizens have
all persons,
rights, including
Fifth Amendment,
due process and XYZ, but there's a
Fifth Amendment, all persons,
all persons, all persons, but with the precedence with the CE precedence of citizens, all citizens, semicolon, then all persons.
What the fuck are we talking about?
No, it doesn't. Are you reading the Fifth Amendment? What are you talking about?
Semantics.
Did you just read out a semicolon?
Yeah,
I don't know where. No, okay, no. It's I'm gonna just read it out for you. Okay,
well,
no person.
I mean, if you don't want to talk about,
no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in land or naval forces of the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject to the same offense be twice put in jeopardy or life or limb. Nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, and the relevant part that we're talking about here, nor be deprived of life, liberty, and property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. The Constitution is very clear in its distinction between a person and a citizen. It says a person is a citizen if these conditions are met, they're born here, yada yada. Here in the Fifth Amendment, it explicitly says no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, property without due process of law. So my question to you is, Hunter,
do me a huge favor.
Are non-citizens persons? Are non-citizens persons?
Before you answer that, I got two quick things. Quick things. One, W's in the chat for Sir Bobbles, who sent $1.99 super chat to say, is Hunter afraid to lose his job to an immigrant? I don't know what Hunter is or is not afraid of. I am like, I don't know. W's in the chat for Gene, who sent $1 donation, says companies won't come back to America, but they will go to another country that isn't tariffed as much. And also, I just want to give you a heads up. Like, Hunter, I know you're talking to us, but you are getting fried over in the YouTube chat. Like, my YouTube chat is wicked. I'm telling you, they are wicked. They are frying you over in the YouTube chat. So, just that. I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. They can have fun.
Are non-citizens persons?
Yeah, of course they are.
Okay, so it follows from that.
Right now that is you're not going to see an impeachment because
I didn't ask if we are going to see where it's you understand my question to be a normative one, right? I'm asking your view.
I'll just answer it, right? And you can hate me for it. I wouldn't want him to be impeached for this.
Why?
No. I think it's a very difficult. I think he's done a lot of great things thus far to really push a new agenda in this country, which many who obviously voted for him, which I did not, believe is better for the country. Okay.
Okay, so you believe so? This is like a utilitarian calculus.
Hunter, I'm running. Hunter, I'm running for Congress, and I'm gonna file legislation to impeach this son of a bitch.
There we go. Let's go.
Get him up out the paint.
Yeah, listen, we won't get Hunter, like you're just saying that
this time
it's justified for him to violate the Constitution and violate people's rights as long as you get like some other policy goals, right? Is that your position or is that not?
Yeah, that's a tough question for sure.
Can you answer it?
While you doing that, W's in the chat for Kiki, who sent a $5 donation saying, continue to unfuck America. Listen, I am going to try to do just that. I'm being mindfuck right now because I don't know what's happening with Hunter, but W's in the chat for Kiki for that $5 donation. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Also, guys, take care of Carbon. I haven't heard Carbon say thank you in a while. I know his pay links are still running in the poll. Let's make sure we're hitting up Carbon's pay links. And again, can't directly donate to Isaiah, but he is running for Congress, and I know he has his actual donation link there. So if you want to support him, you can definitely do that there.
Did he intentionally deport these people without due process?
I just want to see him impeached. We gotta impeach him.
It seems to be that wasn't. So it seems to be that it was intentional, but let's grant for the sake of argument that it was an error. Nonetheless, he supports it, and he publicly supports it. Do we agree?
He doesn't support the clerical error. No, he does support.
He does support his deportation. Yes, he does.
Yes, he supports the deportation,
and the deportation was illegal.
I think this is critical in court. I think he can prove if he could do it again, they'd give him due process. He would be happy to give him due process, and therefore intent for due process is still there.
If that was the case, he has. First of all, he's never said that. But if that was the case, then why is he defending his action, the Trump administration's action of deporting him without due process? It seems to be that he should publicly state, oh, we should have given him due process, and then use the whole political, oh, he's a terrorist or whatever. Like that's a separate Donald Trump that you're not going to see. Okay,
I'm sorry.
But we're seeing a Donald Trump who's supporting violation of this individual's due process.
I'm sorry, I got to read this off because this is super petty. W's in the chat for Priscilla, who sent a $3 donation, says, deport the guest to El Salvador, ;W. I'm sorry, go ahead, Carl.
Also, shout out to Witchy Nanners. Thank you for the $1 Venmo, and shout out to Emily for the $2 on Cash App. Appreciate you.
Oh my God.
Low key, should I be fearful of my life with your chat? They seem pretty crazy.
W's in the chat for Ralph, who sent a $4.99 super chat over on YouTube. Said Hunter should be impeached for subjecting us to his persistence. W's in the chat for Ralph for the super chat. Listen, you shouldn't be worried about the TikTok chat. Like the TikTok chat is super tame. Again, YouTube is who's really on your bumper. I mean, they are on your head right now, Hunter. Like TikTok is pretty tame.
Damn,
also, Nanners, thank you for the $1 Venmo. Where is ICE taking the women and the children?
I mean, I respect you guys. You guys are definitely respecting me so far. I mean, you laugh at me and condescend or whatever, but I mean, I don't want to be like, you know, I didn't.
Well, I mean, it just seems like you have like this pretty untenable view, which is that people should like insane view, and like that people like it's justified to violate people's fundamental rights. Like due process is kind of the right that kind of separates the authoritarians from the non-ones. You're just violating. You say that's okay to get my, you know, eggs down.
You're phrasing it wrong. It's mistakenly violated. Mistakenly.
What does he? He's so like he supports the decision.
Yes, as
everybody in his
many
he support. Okay, the Americans don't care about due process. I don't know, deport them without due process if they don't care about it. Whatever. All I'm saying is
just the deportation.
Yeah. So, like, do you think that it would be justified if I became president? Let's say Carbon 2028. Okay, I come in, I say, hey, this Norwegian immigrant, right? It seems to be that he supports Trump, and Trump supporters seem to support the whole January 6th thing. January 6th, terrorist. All right, I'm going to classify you as a terrorist. I'm going to deny your due process based on that ground, deport you. back to some country that you're illegally, like you would say that would not be a justified use of my power, right? Should I be
absolutely not? Because you're intentionally doing it. Intentionally.
Yeah. Should I be impeached for that?
Yeah, if you're intentionally doing it. But if it was a mistake.
So what if it was a mistake and post hoc you justify it, how's that any different?
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think at this point, and I would have to actually look. At
yeah, well, hey, this is
exactly
what Hunter, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go look right now. Just go look right now. We got someone else in the box. Holy smokes. W's in the chat for Stephanie, who sent a $5 donation. Stephanie, thank you so much for that $5 donation. Also, guys, W's in the chat for Ralph, who sent a $1.99 super chat to say Trump definitely blew Hunter's back out. That's messed up. W's in the chat for Ralph, who sent that donation, guys. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. W's in the chat for Corinne, who sent a $3 donation saying you are overdone. Listen, I am. I was so over it. I've never been so happy in my life to see Living Room Gamer in the box ever. In Living Room, I've never been this happy to see him in the box.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm about to go to sleep.
Yeah,
when I saw you play that Elden Ring shit, I was like, "What?"
yeah.
All right,
guys. Isaiah, I'm gonna text you. I got something to tell you.
All right, bet.
Yep.
All right, I'll talk to you.
Yep.
All right, Carmen.
Living Room Gamer.
Isaiah, take it easy, man.
Yeah.
I guess at least thank you for saving us, because that was painful.
I mean, I'm probably gonna be in the same category.
I know, but at least, holy smokes. Okay, all right. I'll let Carbon start. Carbon.
Oh, there's people crazier than me.
Yeah, all of them so far. Every single one of them. Also, W's in
a little sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. W's in as long as you don't crash out.
Yeah, let's see how much sense you guys. Wait, what's your take on the conversation we just had?
Wait, hold on. W's in the chat for Press Your Duck, who sent a $4.99 YouTube super chat to say, do they realize accepting no due process for non-citizens means that Trump administration could just claim anyone isn't a citizen to get around the legal process? W's in the chat for Press Your Duck for that actual super chat. Listen, that's the point that I've been trying to make this whole time. Once you actually start to go down this slippery slope, what's going to stop things? Like, it's going to continue to happen. That's the whole point. Thank you so much for this YouTube super chat. And also, got to read this off. W's in the chat. W's in the chat for Gucci. What up, Gucci? Who sent a $10 donation saying each one is crazier than the last. That's exactly what I'm saying, Gucci. Like every single one. Every single one. Hold on one second. Let me check this one person, or let me check the box real quick just to verify. Mo Betta, are you a Trump supporter? Mo Betta, are you a Trump supporter? Okay. You said no?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down.
No, you're definitely Mo Betta. I was about to say you Mo worse.
Yeah.
You looking for ops, y'all?
Yeah, I was trying to clear out the box, and I just wanted to make sure. I see this Thomas person spamming MAGA. I don't know. I don't trust this Thomas person. Thomas is in the box. I don't know if I trust this Thomas person.
Anybody who spams is just like,
yeah, but people. I don't. Someone said don't bring them up. Don't do it.
I ain't gonna do it.
Maritime's still in the chat. Dan kicked him. Why did Dan kick him?
You gotta bring him up. It's what you do.
I don't know. People are saying like if Dan kicked him, then that's a problem because Dan doesn't really do that. Anyway, go ahead with Living Room Gamer, Carbon.
How do you feel about the deportation of Kilmar Burger Garcia?
Oh, I mean, like, my reality to that situation is that, like, what Trump is doing is different. There's going to be mistakes and flaws. But if we're going to complain about...
Do you support it?
Hold on. If we're going to... Let me finish. If we're going to complain about, like, that guy, right? There's many people that are sitting in our jails today that are innocent, and nobody's blinking a fletch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a blinking eye.
Gotcha. So Donald Trump currently is justifying the position to deport him, correct? He is supporting that.
What I'm saying is that like what he's doing hasn't been done before. That there's going to be mistakes.
Yeah, but mistakes happen. But what we don't see is people just trying to justify the mistake, knowing that every single court decision, every single legal scholar, every lawyer agrees that this is a violation of this individual's due process and constitutional rights, and Donald Trump is just shitting on it, right? So that's a different thing from making a mistake and looking to correct it. He doesn't even want to correct the mistake.
Well, I'm saying, how many Americans have gone to prison for lifetimes and nothing's corrected?
Okay, well, I'm talking about specifically Donald Trump. If you think that's bad, then you're going to say it's bad for Donald Trump,
we got
correct?
to use them all, right?
Wait, okay, so do you agree that that's bad for Donald Trump? Then, right?
Represent the
Hello,
majority.
hi. You agree that that's bad for Donald Trump, right? Before you deflect.
I'm not deflecting.
Yeah, you are. I'm asking if you think it's bad for other people. Do you think it's bad? Donald Trump fucked up here, right?
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe? Why are you on the fence?
He kind of fucked up. He fucked up a little bit, but not a lot of it.
Yeah, half fucked up. Yeah.
Listen, if it was a mistake, then due process will come, right?
What?
Okay, how does he get due process? He is currently he's in a gang prison without ever having been charged or convicted of a crime. He was illegally deported, and the Trump administration does not want to get him back, even though the court said try to get him back.
Want to ask
right. So where's the remedy?
That be fixed?
Yeah, we're trying to, but he's saying no. So is that not an impeachable offense?
So there is an option, right, to be fixed.
What option? Yeah, that's what the court commanded him to do.
Okay, so it probably will happen. Now, let's just say that
it probably will happen.
Now it happens. What would you say then?
2 years?
Brittany Griner was over there.
2 years with zero charge. Wait, I'm sorry. 2 years in a gang prison without any charges.
I'm
not even a charge.
There's plenty of people that live in America that go to prison for shit.
Okay, do you criticize Donald Trump for intentionally doing this?
Intentionally?
Yeah, he's intentionally not trying to get him back.
You think it's intentionally?
Say it one more time.
He could, for example, he thinks tariffs are the greatest negotiating tool. He's a great master negotiator, but he's not doing anything to try to facilitate Rego Garcia's release, is he?
Well, with tariffs,
the master negotiator can't do anything. Tariffs like we have, he could tariff them, right?
Bro. Calm down.
What?
Yeah, W's in the chat for Tony, who sent a $4.99 YouTube super chat. Say, do they get weekly emails with the talking points because they all say the same? Supporting Trump, supporting Dump means bad characters and zero integrity. W's in the chat for Tony for that $4.99 super chat. You are absolutely far too kind. Also, guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support live. Sorry. Mercedes sent a $3 donation to say the U.S. labor costs push company to outsource, but they're still charging us more just to pad CEOs' pay. If profits went back into the communities instead, we'd see a real investment in jobs and growth. You're absolutely right. Also, guys, another W's in the chat for Gucci. Gucci sent another $5 donation saying, if they have all this proof of him being in a gang, it should be super easy to prove it in a court of law, right? Right. You're Gucci, right? Also, guys, W's in the chat for Jay. Jay sent a $1 donation saying Obama would have negotiated and got him home. Hell, Biden too. Some master negotiator, huh? W's in the chat for Jay. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Anything is accepted. Everything's appreciated. And also, guys, if you are not a Trump supporter, please stop requesting up. I see there's a certain person that keeps requesting up. I know for a fact that you're not a Trump supporter, And I'm telling you, you're gonna get blocked. Stop requesting up. I'm legitimately denying your request because I know who you are. I will block you. And one more just to go ahead and get this taken care of. W's in the chat for Michael. W's in the chat for Maritime, who sent a $5 donation saying just showing support. Tax the middle class. W's in the chat for Maritime for that $5 donation. Maritime, listen. You were not the worst tonight, Maritime. You were not. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
By the way, Shayla, thank you so much for the $5 on Cash App. I appreciate you. Yeah. So living room. I mean, I don't know what you mean by he half fucked up, or maybe he fucked up. It was a very clear fuck up.
Okay.
He was protected from deportation. He was legally here.
Okay.
And then we decided to remove him anyway. And then after removing him, the Trump administration publicly is stating that they did the right thing. They did nothing wrong, right? And the court said facilitate his return. And they're also saying, you know, after the Supreme Court, right? How is this not an impeachable offense, or do you think it is?
Oh, well, I mean, like I said, Brittany Griner went over there, and then they got her back in a couple of years.
Griner,
like,
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, Griner, Brittany Griner, the NBA's the women's NBA star. I say
WNBA.
Yeah, I always say NBA, even if they're women, because I feel like they're professional basketball players. So, like, I don't try to segregate in that sense.
You're focusing on the returning aspect. Like that's
right.
adding insult to injury, because like he's like, but what we're talking about specifically the deportation before even the facilitate the return part. Hold on, just real quick, please. Scenario? Hold on. We're talking about the return. The return part is after, right? I'm talking about the deportation and the justification. We're talking about the deportation and the justification for said deportation. Is that correct in and of itself an impeachable offense? Yes or no?
No.
Why not?
Because mistakes can be made.
It's not a mistake if they justifying it and they currently support it. And how is it a mistake?
Can you give me a reference point, like another case?
I'm sorry. If I accidentally run somebody over, right? Let's say I accidentally run somebody over.
Right.
Okay. Now let's just say, for the sake of argument, it was a mistake. And then afterwards, in public and sphere, I'm saying I did the right thing by running this guy over, because he didn't deserve to be alive. He didn't deserve all this. That's probably kind of fucked up, right? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you're comparing life.
So yeah, that means I'm justifying. Well, that means I'm justifying this rights violation. Now, in the same sense,
what Donald you're doing Trump,
is like you want to say, I think they did it on purpose, but you want to say that they made a mistake. But if they made a mistake, why are they currently supporting it publicly?
Do you have another case like to where you could compare this to?
I don't know why you're like you're like there's something in your brain that says deflect. This is like your vibranium shield from these questions, my guy. I just need you to answer the question.
It's a really simple question.
Yes, you are. Address the question. I'm not allowing.
Cool.
Listen, I'm like a shark. I'm like a shark in the water, and I smell blood when people run away from my questions. My question is very
cool. Let me read this off real quick, because Pressure Duck, I didn't see this, but W's in the chat for you for the Prime sub over on Twitch. I didn't see it, but listen, I see the star by your name. Massive W's in the chat for Pressure Duck, who is a new subscriber over on Twitch. Thank you. Also, guys, W's in the chat for Oye. What up, Oye? Who sent a $5 donation saying YNs against fascism. Eat the rich. W's in the chat for Oye. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, okay. So check it out, right? Say that they made a mistake, right? Is Trump punished for the time it takes for him to get them fixed?
I'm not talking about the return. We'll get to the return aspect yet. I'm talking about the fact that he made the mistake.
It's definitely
if it was even a mistake. And then I'm sorry, I'm talking about the fact that he made a mistake. So he took an oath of office to defend and protect the Constitution.
Right.
He let's say, for the sake of argument, he mistook that. But then now he is justifying it and said that he did the right thing. So he's saying the administration's position is that it was the right thing to deny this person due process. Do you agree?
I wouldn't say it's impeachable.
How is it not impeachable if you literally directly and publicly are defying your oath of office? How is that not impeachable?
I mean, like, have you ever been a president?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, all right.
I was president too.
Okay, so we're going off of.
Yeah. So how is that not an impeachable offense? Is somebody justified, or the Democrats justified in impeaching him?
Offenses?
Violating his oath of office, like directly and intentionally.
That's what you got there. You give me something a little bit.
Fifth Amendment.
More
Fifth Amendment. Remember on January 20th when he put his hand on that little old Bible? Remember that?
Right. I know.
Yeah. Okay. And what did he say? What did he say to the Chief Justice Roberts? What did he say to him?
No, I know what he said.
Okay. And he is currently violating that, correct?
Violator. I don't know, like Living Room Gamer. I like, so I have the question for you, right? I mean, like, seriously, what's the line? Like, I'm trying to understand where's the line with Donald Trump, because like we have to hold him accountable for something, right? Like we're not holding.
I agree.
So what do we hold him accountable for? What do you say?
The thing about it is like what he's trying to do. It's gonna cause pain. It's gonna cause like whatever.
Yeah, people's rights being violated. What would be an impeachable offense for you?
Hold on. I'm not a J6. I'm not a MAGA. I'm not any of that. Okay.
Trump is, by the way.
I mean, you see, all you're doing is trying to trigger. All right. I look towards like the better future of the country. You could be like, well, he did all these things, right? But to go through the night, you have to go through the night to see the sunrise. You have to break a couple eggs to make an omelet.
And in this case, the breaking the eggs is violating the Constitution, authoritarianism,
that's
that
fine.
kind of stuff. We have to deal. So we have to.
Wait,
deal
did
with
you
fascism.
say? Did you say Did you say that's fine violating the Constitution?
No,
crazy.
No, what I'm saying is that there are things that like I didn't agree with J6, right? I didn't agree with that, right?
How did you feel about Biden's vaccine mandate? Just curious.
I'm not vaccinated.
I didn't ask that.
Well, you could tell where I feel on that.
Yeah, tell me. How did you feel about it? Wait, did you think that he should have been? Do you think that he should have been impeached for the vaccine mandate?
I mean, I guess you could say that it could infringe on liberty.
Okay. So Biden through OSHA. Okay, so through OSHA. All right, just making sure. So through OSHA, Biden.
I didn't really care.
Am I muted? Like, what's going on? Okay, so,
no, you're not muted.
Okay, so just to be clear, it's
that I don't care.
No, you're like talking over me.
Like
both our mouths.
Kay said he's protected by Natty Light.
You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. Cool, go ahead.
It's just great. Like, okay, so you're saying like Biden through OSHA, trying to have like workplace requirements for vaccine or testing, right? That could be potentially an impeachable offense. But directly and intentionally violating people's due process, and in deporting them illegally, that's not a violation. That's not an impeachable offense. That's insane. Like that means like I can come in as president and just deport you for being a Trump supporter. I can just do that. Fuck the courts, right?
Yeah, you're talking about one case, bro.
Well, so there's more than one case. Like we can also talk about like I think that one thing that's important to talk about is
be easily a mistake.
Right, I hear you. You know about the case that just occurred with Juan Carlos Lopez Gomez down in Florida.
Oh, so 2 cases.
Okay, but do you know anything about that case?
No. Why don't you tell me about it?
Yeah, so a man was illegally detained for 3 days.
Florida?
Yes, they claimed that he was an actual undocumented immigrant, even though he had a birth certificate. Even though he went in front of the judge took his birth certificate, held it up to the light, and like, "Yep, that's real," and verified that he is a U.S. citizen. But they still wouldn't release him because ICE had said, "Oh, we want you to hold him
and they were illegally holding a U.S. citizen against his will.
Is he released now?
So the hey, I see. Rolo. Hold on one second. Yeah, he is. Rolo, I see you. Rolo, I see you in the. Hold on one second. Rolo, I see you in the comments. You want to come up? Yeah, he was released, but again, I mean, they held him for 3 days and actually infringed on his rights.
I get it. What Trump is doing is new, and when you do new, there's going to be mistakes.
It's euphemisms.
What?
No,
it's not new. So? He's intentionally. Yeah, wait, new as in violating due process. That's new, so we should accept violations of due process. Is it permissible? New. Yeah, is it permissible to
use the minority to represent the majority?
Is it permissible?
Wait, you gotta give me a majority of things.
Is Donald Trump? Yeah, Donald Trump is currently supporting.
We got to give you 10,000.
Give me 100 people going through this.
So you're only. Wait, your justification is you need a large amount of people to say that it's a problem.
All these things will be fixed. You're talking about one person. It will be fixed.
Yeah, that Donald Trump currently believes. Why, if Donald Trump would do this to one person and he currently thinks that it's okay to do it to one person,
it would happen to
then tell me. Right? I didn't even finish my question before you started talking. So now I'm going to repeat the start of my question. So if Donald Trump believes that it's justified to do this to one person, I want you to give me an argument for why he would not believe that he can do this to a second person.
Because they haven't.
Okay. Yes, they have.
Yeah, we just gave you the second person.
And the Supreme Court just blocked last night deportations of Venezuelans inside of the state of Texas.
And you act like that's a leg to stand on.
Because he's done. Yes, it's multiple different Venezuelan. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you why you're wrong. You keep over talking.
Carbon, okay. He's making you crash.
Multiple Venezuelans. Insane, bro. The Supreme Court just last night just ruled that just blocked deportations of multiple Venezuelans to El Salvador because Donald Trump is also defying all of their due processes as well. Right, so cool. The precedent is set, and he is currently abiding by that precedent that he set, which is violating people's due process. So what you just said is false.
I didn't say anything.
I just told you. You said he won't do it again. I showed you where he did it again, and now you're quiet.
You have
we're over talking now, buddy.
Cases, bro.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on.
Multiple different dozens of people.
Hold on for just a second. I'm sorry. W's in the chat for living room because I have never seen Carbon raise his voice before. I have never seen Carbon raise his voice at anybody, and living room just completely pushed him to that point. I've never seen that one. Let me read a couple of these off, and then I really want to hear from Rolo, because if living room makes Rolo raise his voice, then we know there's a problem. Hold on, W's in the chat. Hold on, W's in the chat for Ann, who sent a $2 donation saying, "Call a mistake all you want. Trump's wild ass policies and plus promises about mass deportation is putting pressure on ICE to play fast and loose, which causes mistakes. The fuck." W's in the chat for Ann for that $2 donation. W's in the chat for Oye, who said a $5 donation, said, ask Mom's Basement how many amendments are there in the Constitution. I got $20 that said he doesn't know. Living Room Gamer, you know how many amendments are in the Constitution?
Jesus.
No, don't even. W's in the chat for Erica, who sent a $2 donation saying, can Living Room just admit that he's racist and get on with it? I don't know if I agree with that one, Erica. I mean, I hear you, but I don't know if I agree with that one. W's in the chat for Lilith, who sent a $1 donation and said, that blonde mouthpiece literally said he will not be coming back, and if he does, he will be deported again. W's in the chat for Oye, who said another $1 donation, said they also deported a former U.S. Army soldier, someone who fought in the beginning of the 20-year Iraq war and was a citizen. Thank God they got him back. You're absolutely right. Also, W's in the chat for Witchy, who sent Witchy Nanner, who sent a $1 donation saying, "Where is ICE taking the women and children?" Absolutely. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. Over on YouTube, you can send a YouTube super chat. Don't forget about Carbon. Let's make sure we're taking care of Carbon while he's up here. Thank you for the gloves. And also, let's make sure that we are taking care of Rolo while he's up here. Rolo, did you ever put your pay links in your bio?
He's muted.
He knows. He'll be back.
Y'all always will say to us Trump fans, hey,
I have not.
Okay, well, he has not put his pay links in his bio yet, but let's make sure we show him some love, and let's make sure that we are sending him some wonderful gifts. We're gonna let him deal with Living Room Gamer for a few minutes.
Oh, deal with me, huh?
Yeah. So he's just in all transparency, just so you know, he's an immigration lawyer. So like he actually has information and facts, just so you know.
Okay.
All right. So I think the biggest thing that we have to consider here, I'm sorry, I'm kind of lowering my voice, but
you're good,
is the president, the impact of the president. Now, Living Room was saying that it's only one person, so who cares? If he does it to 1,000 people, I think that's what you said.
No, that's not what I said.
I'm pretty sure that's what you said.
No, you're putting words in my mouth, bro. I literally said that Trump is doing something that's unprecedented. It hasn't been done before, so there's going to be mistakes.
Yes, Trump is doing something unprecedented.
Regardless, right? You're saying that if he starts doing it to more people, then it would be a problem. So the issue here is presence. So if the things stay like this, if Trump is able to do this to this one person, then the law, because we live by what's called common law or English common law, then it will give a legal precedent for him to snatch up people without due process and then send them to a third country to a max security prison.
But let me ask you something. When was the last time
that is the main problem here.
When was the last time you saw that happen?
When was the last time you saw that happen?
Yeah, in the USA.
Never. Well, not that I know.
Thank you.
Wait, if you want to count Gitmo, then I guess we have done that before. Because that was people will be sent to Cuba.
What year?
But you know that we can stipulate.
I'm asking what year.
We can stipulate that the United States has sent people to Gitmo, right? We're not going to fight on that, right?
What we can stipulate.
Wait, we can't stipulate that the U.S. has sent people to Gitmo?
No, what you just came in here swinging gun ho on.
No. Again, you
said it.
Dude, the important thing here is the precedent that will be set if
the important
Trump
thing
is not
is
checked.
it's never happened.
Wait, how can you say it never happens if it's already happened? We have this guy, Abrego Garcia, and then we have 243 people that are already in El Salvador prisons, Venezuelans who are not given due process and are being held indefinitely in a third country under what law?
Under due process.
They were not given due process.
Well, that is due process.
They were not given due process.
That is due process.
How is due process? Explain to me, Living Room, how is it grabbing someone, alleging that they might be possibly part of the Tren de Aragua, and based on those allegations, on mere suspicion, matching them up without seeing a judge, without being charged with anything, and then being sent to El Salvador? How is that due process?
I just want to know how.
Hold on, answer my question.
There are Americans that are in prison that have the same
He's
scenario.
going to deflect again. Yeah. Steph Curry level pivot. Let's go.
Like how people in America that are in prisons that are charged with crimes that they commit and are serving 20 to 30.
My neck.
Why are they serving? Okay, I'll allow to pivot because I do want to explore this, right?
There we go.
And then I'm gonna follow your pivot and I'm gonna block you. All right.
That's fine.
All right. So people who are serving 20 years in prison have gone through what?
Time.
No. Before they serve time, they have gone through what?
Innocence.
They've gone through innocence.
I'm saying the people
Starts
that
with a
are
D.
I'm talking about the people that are unjustifiably in prison.
Okay, so let's say that they were unjustified in prison. However, they were still granted what?
Nothing.
With a D.
They're serving the time.
Oh my
That's with a D.
It's a big D.
So you're saying that in the United States, people get snatched up without the right of due process, without the right to an attorney, without the right of a trial by jury, without the right of a speedy trial, and then they get put in prison for 20 years. Is that your claim? Hold on.
Do you think that the system fails them?
No. Hold on. I'm not going to allow you to pivot again. Okay. Whether the system fails them or not listen. Whether the system fails them or not is a different question of whether they got due process. So let me ask you: did they get due process?
Well, okay.
Did they get due process?
So can I speak?
Yes or no?
Can I answer?
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Can I
did
answer?
They get due process? Go ahead.
Yeah, due process is a conflicted interest. It's like, do you think them people that are serving 20 and 30 thought they got due process?
So I'm going to reel it back in because you're not answering the question. So
I just said, they got due process. But do you think the people that got due process got their due process?
That's a different conversation, sir.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
We're going to leave it at the due process. Okay, great. But it is a non sequitur because people got due process, and even if the system failed them, that's a different conversation. Unlike the people that got sent to Venezuela,
well, that's exactly what's happened now.
Due process. Hold on, sir, be quiet. They did not get any due process. Therefore, it is not the same situation. Or are you going to tell me that they did get due process? And if so, can you explain to me what due process the people who got sent from Venezuela and they were accused of being part of the Ren de Aragua? Can you explain to me what due process they got before being sent to El Salvador?
Well, let's define due process.
Wait, let
me just read these off real quick. W's in the chat for KG, who sent a $10 donation saying, "You have the patience of a saint, Santana. Thanks for fighting the good fight and good luck on Tuesday." Listen, thank you so much for that. I don't know about the patience. I mean, like, honestly, I'm letting the two other people up on the panel do all the heavy lifting. I'm just enjoying myself. W's in the chat for you. W's in the chat for Megan for the $5 donation said, "Let Lawyer Bay 3 come up as co-counsel." Maybe we'll see. I'll check that out. W's in the chat for Kristen, who sent a $5 donation saying, "Hilariously dumb, but these guys show up and vote." Yeah, they do. I'm telling you, they get out and vote. That's our downfall. We don't vote. W's in the chat for Kristen for that $5 donation. W's in the chat for Tyrone, who sent a $5 donation saying, "Please drop this mother clucker." W's in the chat for Tyrone for that $5 donation. W's in the chat. Hold on. W's in the chat for Sir Bobbles, who said a $4.99 super chat to say, "This is amazing that we have MAGA experts challenging real experts." Yeah, like people over in the YouTube are like, when I said that Rolo was a immigration lawyer, they was like, "Wait, really?" Yeah, you guys must not have heard him before, but yes. And also W's in the chat for Maribel Blue, who sent a $2 donation saying, living failed the definition of due process. W's in the chat for everybody. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and the links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Make sure that we are make sure we're hitting Carbon's pay links, because I have not heard him say thank you in a long time. Can someone please make sure that his pay links are still working? I think they clunked out after the first donation, but make sure we're taking care of Carbon. And Rolo has not fix his Paling situation. So make sure we're at least gifting him. He's only at 421 coins, and he is up here doing massive work. I mean, he is lifting the entire show right now. So make sure that we are gifting him and taking care of him. Let's go ahead and break them off. Please, please, please take care of the guests. All right, you guys got it.
So Roland, right? You're immigration, right?
Yes, Roland. Let's talk about immigration, Roland.
Yeah, that's what you do for a living.
I'm sorry, what?
That's what you do for a living. You do immigration.
I am a criminal defense /
immigration
attorney.
Criminal defense.
I do beach.
I do grifting.
I do immigration.
You're immigration, right?
Sure.
Yes, he's immigration.
I'm immigration. Yes, I'm also an immigrant.
What we refer to as immigration.
So, what Trump is doing is kind of like against what the laws is. You know what the laws are, right?
Yeah, I kind of know what the laws are.
Kinda, just a little bit. Yeah.
Right. So Trump is going against the Constitution and is going against the procedural due process of people. So, do you believe in the Constitution, Mr. Living Room?
Somebody said Rolo equals immigration.
Oh my God.
Donald Trump won on the economy, okay, and he won on Rolo, okay.
Yes, he won on me, but he did not win me over.
Oh my God!
There you go.
This is insane.
So, okay, so Living Room, you believe in due process. You believe in the Constitution, right?
I do.
Okay. Do you believe that that the Constitution grants all persons constitutional rights?
Correct.
Do you believe that you have to be a citizen in order to have constitutional rights or due process?
No. I believe you can be in the asylum and still get it.
You sound very muffled, my friend.
I believe that you could be asylum and still get them too.
What if you entered illegally and you didn't claim asylum? Can you still get due process?
Yeah, once the way the laws were set up, like if you stepped over the and they claimed asylum, you were due process.
But what if you don't claim asylum? Do you still get due process?
I would hope so.
Okay, well the answer is yes, right? You agree with me on that? Okay.
Yeah.
So do you agree that Trump is violating people's due process rights and then removing them from the country without proper due process? Do you agree with that?
I believe that there is a a goal, and there's gonna be like some
Okay, so I'm guessing that you believe that the ends justify the means. Is that what you're telling me?
You sound like Vegeta.
So do you believe that the ends justify the means?
Yes.
Okay, so it's okay to violate people's constitutional rights as long as you get what you want. Is that what you're saying?
Well, like you could say it that way, or it could be what everybody wants.
Wait, so as long as everybody wants to violate immigrants' constitutional rights, then that makes it okay. Is that what you're telling me?
No. You're taken out of context.
No, I'm just repeating your stance,
I didn't
and I'm asking for clarification.
I didn't say that.
No, I put words in your mouth.
I believe in order to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs.
So you believe that the ends justify that the ends justify the means. Okay.
Yes.
So you believe that if you violate a few people's constitutional rights, it's okay as long as you get what you want. Is that right?
Let me ask you this.
No, answer my question first, and then you can answer ask me a question.
Totally, yeah.
Okay, great. So as long as I know that you're okay with violating people's constitutional rights, as long as it fits your narrative, then
No. Are you gonna let me answer?
Well, you just said yes.
But are you gonna let me answer to that?
You just said yes.
Yeah. I said, can I answer? And he said, yeah. After you answer this question, I answered.
I'll let you justify. I'll let you justify your answer. How about that?
That's fine.
Go ahead.
Okay, I don't believe in anybody's like constitutional rights being taken. I don't.
Wait, can you please clarify what do you mean by you don't believe that anybody's rights, constitutional rights, are being taken? Are you saying that you don't believe that that's happening? Is that what you're saying?
No, I believe that sometimes. How is there supposed to be change without doing something?
You're supposed to follow the law and allow people due process and not violate their rights. And then, so if you want to make the country safer and you want to remove criminals, then you do it through the proper means that have been done for the last many decades.
Right, I agree. But what if that due process doesn't work? Then what do you do? I'm asking you.
Well, then you change the laws, right?
Okay.
Like, if you don't agree with the law, then you change the law. You don't violate people's rights. Do you
what if that don't work?
Well, I don't know. You tell me. Are you okay with violating people's constitutional rights?
No, I'm asking you what you just said. Okay. You said that, hey, you go out and vote and change the laws, right? And then I said, what if that doesn't work? And then you said, oh, well, then you go out and violate people's constitution.
No, you're getting to that point.
That's what you just literally said, bro.
No, I don't think you're tracking, my friend.
Let me read these off real quick. Hold on. So, and I let me preface this by saying that this is not my words. Let me just preface this. Hold on one second, living room. These are not my words. I'm just reading this off. W's in the chat for Grandmaster RNG over on Twitch, who sent 500 bits to say, bro, this caller should have been shot into a sock and left under his dad's bed. Whew, that is wild. Also, W's in the chat for Victoria, who sent a $5 donation with the blue heart. Victoria, thank you so much for that $5 donation. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Everything is accepted, anything's appreciated. Please make sure you guys take care of my amazing guests up here that are literally doing all the heavy lifting right now. I'm telling you, I have not sat back and enjoyed watching other people ice skate uphill so much in my life. So make sure we're taking care of them. Make sure that we're gifting them.
Shout out to I got a couple. Keen for the $3 on Cash App for the cookouts. Thank you so much, Keen. Adam with the $5. Thanks for doing what you do. I appreciate you so much for that, Adam. Victoria, $5 on Venmo. Appreciate you. Electric Gasms with the 8 months. Grandmaster RNG as well. Thank you for the 6 gifted subs over on Twitch. I appreciate you. And W Jesse with the $20 Venmo. I appreciate you. Ruby with the 100 bits. Jesse asks, ask Rolo if someone can commit public intoxication on the internet. If so, I'm calling the cops on them.
Drunken mind speaks a sober heart, though.
You're not gonna remember this conversation tomorrow.
No, that's cap.
I think under the new cyber laws, that might be a thing.
A rookie. Hey, so Rolo.
Yes.
So Rolo. Let's just say that the world that you got going on, where you're like, oh, you don't. What happens if shit doesn't go how you want? You said change the law, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens if you don't change the law? Then what do you do?
So you're prefacing this with what happens if things don't go your way, right?
No, I'm prefacing what if things don't go my way, if things don't go the way that the law is supposed to stand up to.
It's kind of a weird question. So it happens all the time.
That's kind of where we're at. We're at a weird case scenario.
But what would you want to happen? Like in your...
No, I'm asking you.
Well, I'm asking clarifying questions, dude. Is that okay?
Oh, no. I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
Your questions are weird, so I'm trying to answer.
You're not gonna flip it on me. I asked you.
You can't get him with that Jedi mind trick.
I asked you. I said, let's just say that you're playing by the rule, and then the outcome isn't what you wanted. What do you do? What do you do as a legal
you go home and pout because that's pretty much all I can do. Right?
No, Rolo, it clearly you do fascism. That's what you should do. That's what he's trying to get at there.
Yeah, I know. That's what he wants me to answer.
Grandmaster, thank you for the 1,000 bits.
Like, I'm not even talking to you, buddy.
Oh, hold on.
Excuse me. Hold up.
I was having a real.
Hey, make me big screen. I will.
I was trying to like see. Maybe I could have learned something from this guy.
Go on, get him.
I could have learned from this guy.
Yeah, I'm the host now.
Nothing.
Nah, I'm the host. All right.
Oh, you are? What's that supposed to mean? I joined Santana.
Authoritarian. Fuck
I didn't join your shit.
Living room.
Maritime, thank you for the $5. Tax the middle class.
So
that's crazy, bro.
Here's what happens, living room. As an attorney, I get smacked around by the law all the time, and I don't win all the time.
Oh,
right?
Thank you for the birds.
My clients lose asylum at a 90-something% rate because how the laws are written. So I don't go out there and then, I don't do something fascist or authoritarian.
Would you say that the laws need to be changed?
Absolutely. I think the asylum laws are slanted so far against immigrants that they are a farce, that they are an illusion of due process in the United States, and they're completely unfair, right? Because in a system where 92, 94% of asylum claims are going to be denied, and a lot of them on mere discretion, then this is a law that is not working, and that's why I push for immigration reform. Right. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to go and take over the Capitol or like go burn down a federal building.
Stop it, bro. I just said I'm not down for the J6.
I'm not saying that you're doing this, my friend. I'm just telling you what I'm not going to do.
Trump pardoned them, though, right?
Right. So, and what we're not going to do is like go what's called ultra virus, right? I'm not going to go outside the law.
Pull it up. Pull the host back up since you want to do all that, right?
So
let's look at the people with Joe Biden pardon.
Living room. Let me steer I answered your question. I think I answered it in good faith. Now you answer my question.
I actually have a conversation with you, but he's an
answer my question, please. Right? So what do you like under the Trump administration? If things don't go his way, for example, the Supreme Court told him that he needs to bring these people back, or they didn't go his way. What should he do? Should he obey the Supreme Court, or B, should he pull a fascistic move and ignore the court's order?
It's so minimal. He should bring them back.
Okay, so you agree that Trump should obey the court's order?
Correct. It's so minimal.
How is it so minimal?
I mean, how many people was it?
How many people was it? So again, there's one person who was granted withholding of removal, and he was deported unlawfully, right? They just snatched him up, and they were not supposed to send him to El Salvador. The one place they couldn't send him, that's where they sent him. So that was a blatant violation, and they admitted that it was a mistake, an administrative error.
Yeah, so you bring him back. You bring him back.
Yes, you definitely bring him back, right? You agree with that?
Yeah.
But Trump is not. He's fighting tooth and nail to not bring him back. Do you think that's okay?
I mean, like, if he gets back within the Trump
administration, do you think that's okay?
Consider it a W?
What?
If he comes back, if it takes a year, would it be a W?
Would it be a win?
Yes.
For who?
For what you're just saying.
Dude, you're okay. So Trump must bring him back.
If somebody comes back, is that not a win?
Sure. Yes. If they come back, that is a win for them and for everyone.
For us, right?
For everyone, because now due process was respected, right? They're supposed to obey the court order and then grant him due process.
So let's say
it
happens 2 years from now. Is that a W?
I don't think so, because the court order said that it needs to be done.
Damn, that's crazy. Possible. So like,
it's a child. The child will be like 6 or 7 by now.
So if you were detained, hold on, dude, you just, you know, I'm trying to be nice here, but
there
if you were detained, listen, if you were detained without charges for 2 years, is that a W for you?
Many Marines have been.
If you were detained for 2 years without a formal charge, without committing a crime, is that a win for you?
It's just so.
Even if you got out in 2 weeks, can you answer my question?
New.
Can you answer my
we
question?
We have people that are going through this every day.
Can you answer my question? That's not true. I'm a criminal defense attorney. It's not true. I am a criminal defense attorney, and
so there's no Americans are stranded somewhere else.
What?
I'm asking.
Bro.
All right. Okay.
There's not Americans out there.
Ding, 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 ding.
I think this guy. Can I pull a carbon?
Go ahead. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. You got it.
No. See, you can't reason with people like this. You really can't, right? Because
hold on, bro. I'm literally just saying.
And you're not going to follow. You're not going to track my conversation, and you're just not going to understand it. So that's kind of problematic for everyone, including yourself, because you're making yourself look bad.
Yeah, we ran out of gas on that one. Hey, he made both of y'all crash. How did he get both of you? I told you.
There's no way. There's no way, man. Hey, this is why we lost, my friends, because people like this with like very low level, you know, capacity to like understand things, vote. And
they show up and they vote
consistently.
Yeah.
They vote all the time.
Yeah. All right, guys. I gotta call it.
All right, Santana.
Carbon, you going live? Yeah. Thank you for coming up. I love the fact that you stood in the batter cage and took multiple balls to the shoulder, and like he was. Yeah.
Hey yo.
Hey yo.
Thanks for the gifts, everyone.
Appreciate you, friend. All right, Carbon. How long until you go live? Have a good one, Rolo.
I'll go live right now. I'm
hurry, so I can send you a raid.
Twitch and YouTube.
Go.
All right, Roger that.
Go.
I appreciate you for bringing me up.
Absolutely. Guys, listen. I want to cover something with everyone really quick. Hey, just a reminder, I will be traveling to Texas on Monday. I'll be in Texas for a couple of days for the Unfuck America tour. Also, hold on. Hey, W's in the chat for Pamela. W's in it. Let me check this. Hold on. It just it glitched out on me. Give me a second. W's in the chat for Pamela, who sent a $50 PayPal. I don't think he can hear it right now, Pamela, but I will send it to him. But W's in the chat for Pamela, who sent a $50 PayPal to Carbon, saying these are the one Trump loves. Yes, he loves the uneducated. Massive W's in the chat for Pamela. I will make sure that Carbon gets that $50 donation. Massive W's in the chat for Pamela. You are absolutely amazing. Guys, I will be heading to Texas for the Unfuck America tour. The first link is in the link tree in my bio. It will help support the actual effort that we are putting in. We're trying to raise a total 250,000, right? I mean, I know it's a lot, but they are bringing in a lot of creators, and it's a whole effort to actually get everyone there to make sure that we're properly protected and make sure that we have an opportunity to do all of the wonderful things that we plan on doing, including spreading spreading information and fighting back on all the negative aspects of the things that people like Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, all of those actual things that those people do. So if you can donate, check out the first link in the link tree in my bio. I got it. And please donate. Also, guys, W's in the W's in the chat for Ann, who sent a $2 donation saying preemptive L to Charlie Kirk. Absolutely. Listen, he's a walking L, right? We know that. We get it. Guys, I think let's see. Yep, Carbon is live right now. Let's go ahead and raid Carbon. We're gonna go raid Carbon. We're gonna go raid Carbon. He is at Carbon. He's just at Carbon. He's just at Carbon. Let's go raid Carbon, everyone. Get over. Let's raid Carbon. Also, W's in the chat for Ty. Ty sent a $1 donation saying, hit me up, Santana. I'm going live. I'm going. You live too. Okay, yeah, for sure, Ty. For sure, we'll see you. We'll absolutely see you. W's in the chat for Ty for that donation, guys. Again, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll hang out some tomorrow. Next week is going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of crossovers. Everybody will be live. Everybody will be actually filming content, and we will post as much as possible. We'll be live as much as possible. It's going to be a lot of great stuff, guys. Let's go raid Carbon. Let's get out of here. I'm going to hit the outro. Exhaust.
Twice emotional stability, a sound body and tranquility. I deserve it all.
Guys, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for all of your donations. Thank you for all your taps. Thank you for all your likes. Listen, I thought you guys might have forgotten about me, right? I mean, I haven't really been live. I haven't done sparring in a while. I haven't really been live. I thought you guys forgot about me, but hey, I appreciate it. Hey, Stacy or Spicy. Hey, I thought you guys forgot about me, but I guess you guys still kind of like me. I think you guys still like me a little bit or something. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. I love you all. I love you. I do. Listen, let's go raid Carbon. Let's go raid Carbon. Never. Oh, thank you. Let's go raid Carbon, guys. I love you all. Thank you all for being here.